Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Keto Kings Beer and Barbecue Banter. It is Sunday afternoon, a November to remember. This is a special Thanksgiving Day 2021 show. It's an open topic show. It's uncensored. It's ad libbed, and it's part of Alpha Males, Red Pill Talk. It's a cyber man cave. And now for the loudest jingle bells you're ever going to hear, because my mentor, Krampus Day is coming, and winter solstice, Yule, we're no fool. All right. All right. Now I'm going to bring the people. There we go. The one and only BC Beer Reviews from Michigan, my co-host, and the one and only Jason Cleveland, residing in the Pacific Northwest in the state of Washington. Greetings. Happy Feliz Domingo, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, fellas.
What's happening? What's going on, guys?
You having a good day today, BC?
Oh, I'm having a great day, man. It's my day off. I get to do a little smoking and grilling and keeping it straight, man, with you guys. So, hey, I'm having a good day.
And I wanna salute, in my opinion, a really cool name for a professional hockey team, the Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken, the mighty Kraken that have lost like 10 games in a row, it seems like at this point.
Release the Kraken. I like the tentacle they have in that really mysterious looking big S they have, the logo. And I love calamari in all forms, and the Kraken is the ultimate calamari.
We need some good luck. James, maybe you could ring another bell too, one of those like where you push the button bells.
Well, I didn't take that out because I figured tits the season.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Bart.
Here's Bart Robinson. Hey, Feliz Domingo to you too. Bart Robinson is. It's hard for me to keep up with everybody's location, but I believe he is in southwestern New Jersey, a suburb of Philadelphia. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but then again, I could be right. So, I know Joe Souza, AKA the original Mr. Clean, is going to try to come on where he's going to tell a personal story. This is part of Chiseler's Hall of Shame, a consumer tip story about Car Shield. They're full of shit. They've been advertising nonstop. He got Car Shield, and he got shafted by the Shield. So hopefully he'll come on board. And
is that Car Shield a product that's like on QVC or one of these midnight infomercial type products?
No, not even. It's all the time. It's day and night. It's auto repair insurance, which is supposed to.
Oh shoot! I thought you were talking about some sort of a ceramic coating to protect your paint or something like that.
Yeah, like a aerosol can or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh, you mean like the Flex Seal guy, or that?
Yeah.
That goofy
Yeah,
smile?
like a thing you put it on the fabric of your material in the car, and it's supposed to keep it like waterproof or something.
Yes.
Speaking of and the dam brakes and the guy puts the flex tape on it, and let me tell you, he claims that Flex Seal tape works underwater. Well, guess what? I tried it. It doesn't work at all. It comes right off underwater. And, you can tell by the way he looks and smiles and talks that he's a carnival huckster, a barker. Infomercial dude like
Didn't
Ron.
he like patch his boat with some of that stuff too, and then
Yeah,
he took a little trip in a lake?
He cuts the boat. He cuts the dinghy in half, and then he Flex Seals it back together.
Yes.
He's out on the lake with the outboard mower. Listen, buyer beware. But when it comes to infomercials, be extra aware, because I bought a Bell and Howell for $20 before I got my good one. I got a Bell and Howell electric razor that is supposed to be really wonderful. And Salem County. Say hello to the Jersey Devil for me, Bart Robinson, the great Jersey Devil. Him and Krampus. I love them both. Anyway, what was I saying? Was I talking about Car Shield? No, the electric razor. Bell and Howell.
Razor.
Bell and Howell. Looks wonderful. Guess what? The bottom fell out. I couldn't snap it back together. All the electrical components were hanging out. It stopped cutting my whiskers after, I'd say by the second week, it stopped cutting. It was terrible. Now, luckily, when you buy something, even if it's an infomercial product, when you buy something on Amazon Prime, you can return your Amazon Prime products to your nearest Whole Foods market. You don't have to box it. You don't have to wrap it. There's no, you just bring it. You go on the Amazon Prime app, and you go through the process of returning something. You get the QR code comes up. And you just simply give it to them. They scan your QR code and consider it returned with a refund.
That's a very simple process, right?
You gotta love technology. Here he is, Mr.
Hello, Eric.
7.5 from southeastern Massachusetts, the original inventor of Wild Card Wednesday. Don't let anybody.
Oh, I got actual barbecue for barbecuing.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
Why you
My
cooked
goodness.
already?
We got this from a barbecue joint takeout. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now,
And,
now what do you have there, Chief? Let me give you the.
Okay, so this is from a place called the Saucery, the No Joke Smoke Barbecue, out of Swansea, Massachusetts, southeastern towards the Rhode Island border. We have smoke wings here, and barbecue brisket right here, right there. And then over here is a little bit of a sauce they got going on. It's called PB, Pineapple Bomb. So it's got some pineapple sweet and some nice peppery spice in the background. Very, very nice. And the beer is going to be the Blue Hen Pilsner from Dogfish Head,
Oh wow.
4.8% ABV. So, cheers, everybody. Yeah.
Cheers.
Here's the-
Boy, that's a nice plate of food and a great beer too.
Cheers.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's great. I'll show you what craft beer I have for today's show. But I'm going to before. Hey, what's going on here with this?
I recall, James, you made a comment that you quit drinking or something only on Fandango Friday.
Well, no, it's the expense because for me to go buy a different craft beer that goes according to a theme, especially in New Jersey, where prices are kind of high and not everybody. It's hard to find the themes, and if I order from Drizzly, there's a minimum like $30 that I got to order.
Right.
It's becoming. I got to save some money. So in this case, I needed some hard liquor in the house, so I got one bottle for the show.
My goodness, is that pull apart tender or what?
Now, is that pork or is that chicken?
Oh shit!
Tender. Holy shit. No,
That's valuable. That's valuable stuff. Be careful.
I'll go grab it.
That's true. That one bite is about $10, right?
Come on, the 5-second rule is about to be up, man.
I'll have to go look for that, people. You want to know how tender it was? It fell off the goddamn plate.
Don't drop that on the floor. All right, I'll show you.
Right
I'll show you this really great seasoning. BC,
Go find it.
this really great seasoning I've been using. Jamaican Choice Hell Hot Reggae seasoning, and it is really hot, and it tastes great, and it's a very comprehensive, complete muy picante seasoning by Jamaican Choice. Now I've tried their jerk seasoning before, and it's pretty damn good. So I figured, well, let me continue with. All right, hold on.
So that on some, say, chicken or maybe even ribs, maybe, right?
Yeah, well, I marinated. What happened is I had a pair of split chicken breasts, from Whole Foods, with the bone and the skin, because I feel that if you eat meat with the bone and skin, it's tasty. So this is, a cage-free, free range, or chicken, and it really does taste better. So I put this reggae, this stuff on it, and I marinated it for a couple hours, and I put it on my Korean stovetop grill. And number one. Okay.
Yeah.
I got Zavia Bacher quad. Does that mean it's good for my thighs, my quadriceps? Is that what that means? No.
Absolutely not. That's terrible for your quads.
Quad and crotch. A Belgian style quadruple ale. Now, Mr. Eric Fraunfelter would probably know more about what this means. Hold on.
I've heard of a triple,
Quadruple.
but that's a quadruple.
Quadruple.
Yeah, let me see if don't tell me I got to get my magnifying glass to find out the alcohol by volume.
Probably like 10 to 12%, maybe 9 to maybe 12.
11.
My goodness.
Yeah, you're right. About 11. I think it says 11.8, which rounded off.
So that's a beer that Ronald Terrio would say, don't drink more than one of these, or it's extremely ill-advisable, or something to that effect, right?
They're typically going to be a very dark, almost purplish kind of color.
Well, you'll
notice a lot of like baking spices and sweetness to it, and a lot of maltiness to it. Maybe there might be Belgian candy sugar in it, maybe not. There could be this. What you're really gonna get is a Belgian style ale. It's gonna have that Belgian kind of funkiness mixed in with almost kind of winey phenols and winey flavors and fruity phenolic notes in it.
Phenolic, yeah.
What kind of glass would you want to pour that into?
A goblet or a chalice.
I'm going to use this.
James, was that like an ice pack there?
Yeah, to keep. Yeah, when I do shows, I just take it out of the freezer.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That beer is best room temperature.
then if I have a headache or something, or I just put it to my head, and it's very multi-purpose. My friend Little Jimmy Pesto, who managed
That one
an
looks
Irish
amazing.
pub one time, he gave me a whole bunch of these from the bar. So it's probably there's a bar pint, and then there's an actual pint glass.
Right.
Right.
Bar pints probably, I would guess, I would be like 14 ounces. 15 maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe 16.
a pint consists of 16 ounces. Two cups is a pint, right? So 16 ounces liquid.
Well, not everywhere across the world. An imperial pint is 16.9 ounces in the United Kingdom.
That sounds better to me.
How about I've seen these new, well, they're not new, but new to me maybe, these cans that are stove pipe cans, they call them, I think.
Stovepipe?
Like 19.2 ounce cans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yes, I've never heard of them called stove top.
A stovepipe.
Never heard of that terminology.
Stovepipe. Interesting. He's gonna have Art Roberts is gonna have Anchorstein Christmas sale when he gets done with his workout. Yeah, I work out 6 days a week. I originally was a certified personal trainer and nutritional consultant, and I prefer to work out alone. I don't need any encouragement from people.
No.
I don't need any distractions from people. I really enjoy the solitude of doing things like that alone. So,
I agree with you. I used to do a lot of exercising when I was younger. That looks fantastic. And you get guys, hey, let's work out sometime. All right, that sounds great. And they just BS the whole. First of all, they show up a half hour late, and then they just BS the whole time. And then you're like, man, I got to get home. It's freaking. We haven't even lifted a weight, and we've been here an hour.
Well, it's a hangout. It's like a man cave hangout, but the problem is you get people giving you dirty looks. You get jealousy. You get people that are preoccupied with what you're doing in the gym and what you look like, instead of focusing on themselves.
Right.
Which they really should. They shouldn't, and they shouldn't be chasing tail. They shouldn't be. I watched a video of a very attractive girl that was complaining about the annoying things that guys do in the gym, how they run over to them and say, oh, let me spot you. Let me show you the proper way to do this exercise. Let me, they're like, they all come with all this help and advice, slobbering over the girl and giving her, they wouldn't leave her alone. And she just wants to do her exercises in peace.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the dudes are hitting on her. So,
that beer looked really good, James. I'm sorry I interrupted you when you had it to the camera there.
Now, quadruple. I don't know if it has to do with 4 hops.
Nah.
4 hops, or is it just the alcohol content?
Probably the alcohol content, I would bet you.
Well, it has a nice.
Never really contemplated what this style name and where
Real
that.
Nice hop bouquet.
Yeah.
Hey.
Talking about beers, I wish I had one that they got at was it Twin Peaks? I don't know if I've mentioned this before on the other live streams, but I went to Twin Peaks one time and I had their Drop Dead Redhead. Now, it was an IPA. It was at least a 7% at least. And anyways, I mean, it looked great, tasted great. And I tried to look for it. It's made by Atwater Brewing Company. And come to find out, I guess at least the one here, Atwater Brewing Company makes that one solely for Twin Peaks for here. So it was just amazing that they would have this solely for that restaurant. It was like, I would have to go to Twin Peaks to have that beer again, which ain't necessarily a bad thing.
I love craft beer that is very hop complex.
Oh yeah.
And this is definitely it. Where the hops surpass the malt. Because if the malt is too prominent, to me it's too sweet.
You have to have there's got to be enough of a balance depending on what you are brewing and what's appropriate for said style. To shove a whole bunch of hops into a quadruple may not be really appropriate for that particular style with what you're tasting right there.
Yeah. Well, what I mean about the hops is when they use a few to several different kinds of hops.
Yep.
And now, Bart, a friend of mine from grammar school, he converted, well, junior high more or less. He converted his garage into a gymnasium with the indoor outdoor with the AstroTurf, and he had the heater. He had the forced air heater in there. Let me tell you, when in the spring and summer, it's great because you get to walk outside on the driveway and you get the fresh air, and you get to cool off between exercises or sets or whatever, and it's really a nice. Hey, even you and your friends could, like, when the weather is good, you can have the lawn chairs out in the driveway, and you could talk and eat and have refreshments, and that if you need to wait before going for the next workout or whatever, but it's really a great place for male friends to hang out, and a lot of rock bands, I guess, rehearse in garages too. Maybe the acoustics are good with all the cinder block walls.
Well, you don't have a commute, right? Think about that for a minute. You're like, there's no excuse not to work out, right? It's only you are your own worst enemy when it comes to having a home gym, I guess, right?
Yeah, or if you have a big basement, a finished basement that's like a family room, you can convert a finished basement into a gym. Yeah, and you don't have the weather issue. You don't have to. It's like people that work from home with their job. You don't have to dig your car out and chop the ice dig your car out of the snow. Or
no.
Belgian style quadruple is amber to dark brown in color. Caramel, dark sugar, and malty sweet flavors dominate with a low to medium high hop bitterness. Oh, so medium is as high as the quads have a relatively light body compared to their alcohol strength. If aged, oxidative quality should be mild and not distracting. Sometimes referred to as a Belgian strong dark. Well, I don't know about oxidative qualities, but this is good. And I've had this company before, and I was happy with the product. So I noticed that BC has
sideways and not here.
No, he froze.
He actually was on his deck, it appeared, about a few minutes ago.
I know.
With the phone. Don't play with the phone anymore. It's working good.
I noticed that that your local Bell's Brewery has a lot of interesting products. They put out a good product line, and they're really nice. You showed one that was like red.
Yeah. The last one I did was the spruce case one, and that one was really piney. I mean, really piney. I'm talking like spruce piney. I mean, that's really in there. I mean, that was really heavy. And I know, like, colonial times, they would make like what they call, I think it was called pine tea. And what they would do is clip out some pine needles off of a pine tree, boil it, and have that as a drink. So I just thought it was interesting that Bell's would be creative enough, or at least be a little bit knowledgeable on history to make that type of beer. So it's just crazy. They do got a great product line. And I don't hate to say it, but I'd say maybe about a third maybe half of my videos are Bell's beers. It kind of shows how many beers there really are out there that they make. So,
Well,
and it kind of made me worry there when I forget the name of the company. Was it Leon or the Lion company that bought Bell's beers? I was like, man, please do not take up Bell's beers for me, man. So, yeah, because they're the same company that ended up buying New Belgium. So, I mean, I like New Belgium.
ugh,
Only one I didn't like was it that V2K one.
I like the name of the beer that you just put up, BC, Wild Spruce Chase.
Yeah, that's the one I just did. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. While I was reviewing it, they had like a little truck with a Christmas tree on it, but it reminded me of the Griswolds from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where they went out in the middle of nowhere and put that big old tree on the top of their station wagon.
well,
That is a great movie.
the recipe for pine tea actually came from Native Americans, especially the people of Canada, the Northerns. They used to make a tea from the bark and the pine needles, and that's how the very powerful antioxidant that they call pycnogenol it came from. And then the Europeans started coming out with a product from the European coastal pine tree, but it all came from the northern section of indigenous people of Canada and primarily Canada that made a hot beverage from pine. So,
Oh yeah.
What was the name? I'm sorry, James. I asked you this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but the liqueur that you did a couple weeks ago, which had like twigs and berries.
Mama Juana from the Dominican
Yes,
Republic.
Mama Juana. That sounds
Juana.
similar to Mama Juana, what you're almost, I mean, they're probably not the same, but
Well, it was Mama Juana.
but the pine tea.
Oh.
I wonder if they even infused any liqueurs into it or.
Yeah, well, I've talked to many Dominicans, and they said that the proper way to make Mama Juana, which is the same as the West Indies wood root tonic, which both of them came from Africa. The slaves brought the formula from Africa, and it is a medicinal blend, a cornucopia of different herbs and twigs and whatever. It has a very woodsy flavor, and it takes months. It's not something. It's not like an infusion where you're putting fruit in hard liquor. You're putting usually in a bag or a sachet, maybe a cheesecloth like sachet. This is like a blend of medicinal plants and herbs, and then you just let it soak in the hard liquor of your choice. In this case, rum. They use dark rum, and that's pretty much what it is. And there's only one company, Kalembu, with a K. There's only one company that so far that actually sells it.
Was that hard to come by? Was it?
Yeah. The rest is all like homemade Mama Juana. This is the only commercial Mama Juana. Yeah, I hear you, Bart. I hear you. It's Tommy. Greetings. Thanks for stopping by. Now, if you're out there, you landscapers that are out there in the winter, if you want to keep your toes from freezing, take a 1 gallon plastic Ziploc bag. You can get them at the dollar store, and just slip your feet in there, and then just put your feet in your boots, and that will keep your feet and toes toasty warm as you're out there chopping ice and shoveling snow. And that's a quick waterproofing and insulation idea that works.
What it probably does not do is encourage or discourage, I should say, foot odor, because you're trapping the odors into
Well,
the bag.
if you're like Al Bundy and you're killing people and you take your socks off, yeah, I would suggest that you have an area of the home where you can air out your feet when you're all done. A positive Sunday. Well, positive anything is hard to come by these days, but yeah, it's a good Sunday. It's supposed to be my lucky day for Leos, but I'm not. I if it wasn't for the show, I find Sunday to be boring. I mean, if it wasn't for doing a show, this show or any other show. Greetings, good morning, Masumi from the Tokyo area.
Good morning.
Good morning, Masumi. It is now. Masumi is now 4:37 a.m. Monday. La Bella Luna. Lunes is Spanish. Feliz Lunes. Floods, hurricanes, accidents, etc. Oh yeah, the wind. Trying to work in high winds, like a nor'easter. You know them nor'easters can be brutal in the winter. Eric knows. He's in the north.
Not fun. Not fun, people.
Yeah, he knows. Nor'easters. And getting back to what Jason told me or asked me before. Yeah, the liquor is not cheap in the Northeast, and the variety we don't have access to the variety like Ron Ontario has in Louisiana, or the prices. So,
I think the prices is one thing, right? It almost seems like inflation for alcohol has not hit Jay's area at all.
No. I mean, like I get the airline bottles for Fandango Friday because they're affordable. So I happen to get Paul Masson brandy, Amber, whatever. Yeah, one of their brandies, not the VSOP. So, Ronald says, "Oh, it's not a liqueur." So, I mean, I got annoyed because there's only so much variety that I can find.
Yeah, you could just review the same thing every week. Hey guys, I'm just going to pull out the infused eggnog again, right?
I mean, up here, I'm telling you, it's coming to the point where I'm seeing the same liqueurs in airline bottles, and it's going to come to the point soon where I'm going to run out of liqueurs, and I'm not going to be buying big bottles of freaking liqueur and spending all kinds of money on Fandango Friday. No. So I went and I said, okay, this is what I'll do. I went and got a handful of fresh cranberries. I got a pestle, a wooden pestle, and I crushed it in the brandy, and it tasted fantastic. And that's what I did. And,
I thought it was humorous when I think it was Ronald Sutton was kind of giving you a hard time about that. What are you going to pour that for your girlfriend or something to that effect? It was pretty funny.
Guy that drinks 10 hams a day, 10 hams beers a day.
Hams, yeah.
He's got such a low voice. It was like it kind of gravitate to it, right? When you're like, imagine that voice on the radio, you'd be like, you're just tuning in, I love it.
I mean, hams. It might be really better than Miller or Coors or Budweiser, for all we know, but it's a macro, and I mean, I don't know what kind of chemicals and
oh, wait a minute, are you talking about the last live stream on Ron's channel?
Yeah, what the fuck, preservatives or whatever the hell they.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get heartburn from macros. All right, we're going to get a bird's eye view of what BC Beer Reviews is doing with his smoker grill.
Or maybe not. Oh, there we go.
Bird's eye. Yes.
There we go.
I filled this up with a sharp cheddar cheese in the middle. and it's already starting to ooze out.
Wow.
So,
Don't lose cheese.
yep.
It'll burn.
So throw it on here, do a little bit of char on there.
I see it. Yeah.
As you can see, I don't know if you can see cheese on this one.
There it is.
That looks great. My goodness.
Cheese is coming out down here. But I think I put a little bit of extra in this one, so I think that's why it's coming out like it is.
You know what
I
they
put
call
2
that? A
slices
juicy
here and 1
lucy.
here.
Juicy,
Huh?
Lucy.
It's Minnesota. It was founded in Minnesota. Some guy stuffed cheese in his burgers a long time ago, and he called it a juicy lucy.
Oh yeah, if you mix the cheese in with the ground beef, it is.
In the middle, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, hell yeah.
BC, is that one for you and one for the dog?
Oh, I used to.
Spoiled.
In order to make the juicy lucy, you got to make really big burgers. In order to,
Those are healthy sized burgers right there.
and it could be, you know what? It could be more cooked
Okay.
than rare or medium rare too, because the cheese just makes up
Yep.
Right.
for the.
Well, throw one of these bad boys on a bun. Catch them out. Let's see how these boys are. I put a little bit of seasoning in there.
Right.
Mix up the meat before I put the cheese in and whatnot. So
It looks great. It looks, nothing like a giant Bronto burger.
Bronto burger.
now the seasoning I used was this. I don't know if we can, yeah, there we go. Okay.
Hey, classic barbecue taste. What company's that? Stone Mill?
Yeah, Stone Mill. Yep. So I got that in the burger or the meat. Mixed it in. So we'll do them.
Is that a bun? That's a bun. We be making sandwiches now. Sandwich bread.
Oh, that looks so good.
BC, is this dinner or is this like a snack before dinner?
Better not be a snack. Come on now.
Oh, they were pretty big burgers, man. I refuse to use processed cheese like Velveeta and Cheese Whiz and American cheese. It's got to, unless it's Land O'Lakes. I mean,
Well, there's a lot of places you can't go then.
you're damn right. Yeah, you know those Philly cheesesteak places? They use that cheap garbage, that processed shit.
I almost forgot. I got bacon right here.
Pickles?
No, bacon.
Oh
Bacon.
my goodness! Look at
Oh,
this.
Bacon better than pickles. Pickles are good too.
I
This
get
is-
the organic ketchup from Trader Joe's. It's pretty good.
I wonder how the sandwich bread's gonna hold up.
It's not going to hold up. He's got to squeeze it.
He's gonna squeeze it.
That looks fantastic, BC. My goodness.
Let's see,
One-handed.
let's see profile. Give me a profile at a hamburger.
He's
Giving you a
eating it.
profile of the hamburger right now, right? Well, my God, profile.
That's like an ultimate one-hand job there.
Hand job? Who got a hand job?
One hand.
Andrew Cuomo. Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo?
I don't know.
Wow, well, that's the profile I'm looking for. Ah, look at that. Juicy Lucy.
Bread's about to fall apart. Watch out, busy. There you go.
Nope.
Hold tight.
Oh, beautiful. Juicy Lucy, Juicy Lucy, Juicy Lucy, Juicy Lucy, Juicy Lucy.
That looks fantastic. My goodness. One for you, one for the dog.
Yep.
Yep.
Quack,
So,
quack,
so good.
quack, quack, quack.
Poking through the
The dog gets
He looks like I'm out.
as long as the biscuits don't have grain, that's what makes the dogs fart when you give them food with grain in it.
Yeah. I mean, I try
Oh, is
not
that
to feed
right?
them too much of people food.
But at
That's
least
so,
it's good when the dogs fart, because then if you got a chick over the house, you blame it on the dog.
Oh, God. Gross.
Ah,
Whoa.
very good, very good.
Jesus.
Now, are you fond of if you go to Aldi's, BC, you'll see great prices on all kinds of cheese there.
oh yeah. You know, the one thing about them is I went to go get some of their extra sharp cheddar cheese there, like their brand, and it's not the same. I mean, if you compare like them to Kraft, Kraft is a lot more sharp than the Aldi's brand.
Really?
So, I mean, I like their cheddar cheese, but if you want the extra sharpness, you're gonna want to go with the name brand version. I mean,
Well, try
sometimes
Yeah.
you're paying for the name, but sometimes you're paying for the taste too.
Try
So,
the all these Monterey Jack with jalapenos inside.
Whoa.
oh, okay.
Jalapeno Monterey Jack is a good melting cheese. Munster is a great melting cheese. Munster.
Yeah, I like Munster. Yeah, that's a good cheese too.
They also have a really high quality and low price liverwurst at Aldi's.
Yeah,
Big
that's another awesome product by them. Yeah.
Liverwurst. All right. Sounds good.
liver
I'll
schmush.
probably eat that.
No, I like a Braunschweiger in German. What I used to do is I used to cut a thick slice of the Aldi's liverwurst, get that stone ground spicy brown mustard, German mustard, and then press it down so it all becomes one block. The sandwich, like give it a gentle press, and it's very tasty. For those that like it, not everybody likes it. But that's what I say.
Beer
You
is
guys
gone.
ever?
Food is gone.
Speaking of Aldi, have you guys ever heard of Lidl?
Idle.
Lidl.
I
That's a
have not.
competitor to Aldi.
Are they owned by Aldi or is it a different company?
It's a different company. It's a German company.
So you can get all the bratwurst and well, the commercial German cold cuts is more like Schaller and Weber. Schaller and Weber. They make all of the bloodwurst and the different head cheeses. But I mean, there's nothing like the freshly made cold cuts from the Polish or German market for provisions, where they make everything on the premises. The one I used to go to, I would see a big pile of wood outside where the smokehouse was. Then they had the retail store, and then they had the smokehouse, and they would make all the kielbasa's and everything, the bacon, kind of like what BC does with his smoker.
Yeah.
But they use firewood. They and I guess what I used to do is use the Weber starter, the metal cylinder with the handle. You put newspaper on the bottom, and
the chimney. Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah, I've got one of them too, sitting underneath my grill outside. I know sometimes I usually use lighter fluid, but on occasion I like to start it up with the chimney starter too. So
you don't need lighter fluid. You just get some old newspaper or something that would light up, and you should work well. Where's your fire pit? Is it like not too far away from the?
It's probably about 20 feet away from the deck. Somewhere between 20 and 30. So
Yeah, you gotta be careful where you put that.
yeah, I don't want it too close to the house. Next day, where's the house at?
Yeah, and then your home insurance claims adjuster, whatever the hell he calls it. You know what he'll say? Fire pit, huh? You had it only 10 feet away from your house. We're not. You're not covered for this. This is negligence.
Yeah. I
Negligence.
remember watching on the news about this must have been about a year ago, and in Detroit, there's a couple of zoning laws where you can't barbecue like on your front porch. I'm talking like right there. It's like, that to me is kind of a no-brainer. That barbecue on your front deck or your front porch.
Well, somebody did Louisiana one Thanksgiving. Some idiot did the Louisiana style deep fried turkey, and they had the outdoor deep fryer close to the house, and they put the problem was they put a frozen turkey into the hot
Who the
oil.
hell does
It's gonna
that?
blow up.
Frozen
That's gonna
turkey?
blow up.
Isn't this well documented that frozen turkey is dangerous in a fryer?
And
Yeah.
guess what? The home caught on
Hello?
fire.
Anybody home, McFly? Come on now. What the heck?
See, that's terrible, right? Because it's Thanksgiving, so you got not only is your house burning down, but then there's like 20 people that didn't eat that day, right? So it's like,
That's like the idiot who was camping, and they put a little gas or charcoal hibachi inside the tent,
yeah,
and they died from carbon monoxide.
that's just terrible, right?
Yeah.
There's that show, right? 99 Ways to Die or something. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, I see that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on was it Spike? Channel Spike.
Something like that.
And, well, anyways, it would show these different scenarios of how people died. I guess it's like the modern day equivalent of the Faces of Mass, or no, the Faces of Death.
Faces
movies
of
where
Death,
they
yes.
Yeah.
Yikes. That was a
Those old
weird-
websites, I remember looking at those like 20 years ago, right?
That was a weird story.
Well, it could be something as simple as, when the kid was hitting the Rottweiler on his way home from school with the stick. He stopped by and he was teasing this dog and hitting him with the stick. And the Rottweiler got so pissed that he managed to jump the fence, and he fucked up the kid. And it's like, well, your kid's a moron. If your kid looks for trouble and he gets trouble, he finds it. You can't blame the dog, I mean, he's a little monster was whacking him with the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, James, on Jay's show on Friday, Ronnie S. He made a comment. James won't have me on his show. What is that all about?
Long story.
Long story for another day.
I decided for sure not to have him on today's show. After
It come up as a little disrespectful at times to people.
After my longtime friend and co-administrator of Progressive Discussions, Mick Von Raven, he took he made a printout of what Ronnie S. was saying to him, because he has a difference of political opinion than Ronnie S. and Salvatore Mercurio. They're extreme right wingers, but they're abusive. Like, if you don't agree with them, they'll insult you and call you all kinds of names. And he tried to pull that on Mick Von Raven, and Mick just did a print screen and showed me all the terrible names he was calling Mick because he didn't agree with him politically. And
well, that's too bad.
Instead of debating somebody with proven facts, they resort to ad hominem attacks and personal insults and profanity. And
I don't really do the whole YouTube thing to get political. Man, I like bantering about God knows what in some craft beers and
I mean,
absolutely.
I haven't forgotten when Ronnie S. was calling Thomas Meadows 75 horrible names, and he was he had a little too much to drink.
That's
And
usually the case with Ronnie when he starts doing that.
he's a bad drink. He's a bad drunk. He gets nasty. He tries to pick fights.
Mm-hmm.
Not a happy drunk.
No.
And he did that to Eric on more than one occasion.
He's done that, yeah, to a lot of people on more than one occasion.
That's
Yeah,
too
a lot of
bad. I had no idea. I didn't mean to dig up an old grave there.
That's a great reason.
No, on my show, just think of Festivus. You know, the first rule of Festivus is the airing of grievances,
Absolutely.
followed by the feats of strength. But,
We'll just leave it at the door before you come into the stream.
yeah, we air grievances and we name names like the rabbi on Seinfeld that told on a TV show mentioned Elaine's personal business. You know,
That wasn't nice.
yeah, I know. Remember that episode? The rabbi. That rabbi has a big mouth. Elaine said.
I admire that, James, because you're like another guy I know that can just recite these Seinfeld episodes. Do you remember when that happened? I'm like,
No.
there's that's like a memory, like a steel trap, right?
Yeah. Well, Jerry Stiller, you know, Frank Costanza just had a aluminum pole for Festivus because he said, you know, tinsel is very distracting, and he says that's it, just the aluminum pole. If I knew that episode was going to exist decades in the future, I would have kept my aluminum tree and just threw out the tree and kept the pole. And then I would have had a Festivus pole. Now, if you want to buy a Festivus pole, they charge you a bundle because, you know, it's an aluminum pole. But I had it. We had it when we had that stupid aluminum tree. And,
price of aluminum is going up right now. Even that's going.
Yeah, I mean, I who knew that I was gonna that it was a real Festivus pole, and but anyway, yeah, Ronnie S. He apologizes. He promises never to do it again, and he does it again and again and again. And it does it. How many times are you going to apologize for doing that on a live show before you learn your lesson and you really mean it? You know, and apparently he doesn't learn his lesson, and I mean, I'm glad.
Because his opinion, because his one of the other things was because his opinion is contrary to an actual pandemic is really happening, and I ended up a year ago losing a job due to this pandemic because he thought that the pandemic didn't exist. Then therefore, I didn't lose a job because of the pandemic. I'm like,
and Gary Owens,
you get into that position, Ronnie S. You have no business making this claim.
And Gary Owens showed absolutely no empathy and compassion for your plight of getting.
I don't know the last time I don't remember the last time I was even on some kind of stream with that guy.
No, he just didn't. He just like well, usually whatever a person says, he goes, yeah, okay, and then he continues.
Yeah, the problem with him, the problem with his mentality, down there in the area of Gary Owens, the area of Tennessee that he lives in, that a lot of things just don't affect him in that part of the country or in that particular town that he lives in. So therefore, it's not happening. It's not happening in my town. That means it's not happening anywhere else. It means things aren't progressing in a different direction. No, it's not happening in my town. I don't have to worry about it. That means that it's not happening.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really closing your mind off to the rest of the world.
It's not his problem. Just like rich people that have no empathy for those that are suffering.
Yeah.
And they have no empathy, they have no compassion because it's not their problem. As soon as it hits home, you know, I knew a guy who well, he's not alive anymore, but he did commercial voiceovers, and his father had a really big time executive job with IBM back in the day.
Sure.
And he pretty much was spoiled. You know, his father gave him a big allowance until he was middle-aged. Like he was getting allowances from his dad. So anyway, he can, you know, he had no interest in, he can care less about the poor, low-income people. As soon as as soon as karma bit him on the ass real hard, and then it became, eventually his father wasn't there anymore, and it became his personal problems. Then he became very progressive, very compassionate, and and then because it became part of his life.
Right.
Before he was arrogant and smug about everything, and when the money was rolling in and Daddy was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of that Mel Brooks movie, Life Stinks. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Right, where he's the CEO and he says, "I'm going to buy up this little part of Skid Row or whatever in Los Angeles," and then through a strange turn of events, he's actually homeless himself, and he gets to see how the other people live, and then kind of like it's always, all these movies have similar plays to like the Christmas Story, right? Like Mr. Scrooge and stuff.
Yeah, Christmas Carol, Ebenezer.
Christmas Carol, yeah.
Charles Dickens,
that's that. They
See the play.
I think all the people that, back to your comment there, James, if they were to just understand the Christmas Carol a little bit more, and maybe watch it with heartfelt intent, then they might get along a little better with some of these other folks, right?
Well, and I think the judge decreed him to live that way as a punishment.
That's right.
Now also, for those of you that are huge Twilight Zone fans, and I'm one of them, there's a lesson to be learned with every Twilight Zone episode. That Rod Serling was really a genius.
Correct.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then later on, he did that show. Was it Night Gallery? Yeah.
Definitely. What a brilliant man. I mean, the what do you call Burgess Meredith had a few appearances in the episodes.
Come on, I can fall out.
You are obsolete. You remember when he was the I think he was a librarian in both episodes.
Yeah, he was a librarian in one, and
one
he
episode.
wished he had more time to read the books. And when he finally got the time, his glasses broke, so he couldn't read them. Talk about ironic.
There was an atomic blast that killed off humanity, and he was the only one left. And when he was alive, when everybody was alive, they would constantly yell at him and scold him. Oh, you're always reading those books. You're always reading. What's wrong with you? You can't. And his his wife or whatever, or mother used to scold him, and his employer would scold him for reading. And then there was a disaster wiped out humanity, and then his glasses broke. The other one was a futuristic like society where fascism was in control, and the leaders determined that books were to be destroyed, and librarians are obsolete, and
wow.
And that was and then the Howling Man, where Satan was behind bars. He was in. It was like a monastery, and
I remember that one. Yes,
Satan was captured. Yeah, and he was behind bars, and they said, "Don't believe what he tells you. That's Satan. He's a liar, and do not. He's going to try to convince you to open up the gate, open up the jail cell, and let him out. And don't do it." And I think because he was in the jail cell, humanity's problems stopped happening. Life was really great for everybody.
Oh, so it was a great utopia for humanity, yeah.
Right, but then he got suckered by his lies. He let him out, and then the man slowly turned into like a Satan, but like an old time Hollywood Satan with the pointy black goatee,
and the ears and tail
Yeah,
and what.
yeah. As he was walking towards the window, he started turning into the Hollywood Satan.
Did you ever see that movie Legend?
Fantastic.
A bit salty. Yeah, that's putting it mildly, Bart. All right. I'm
What
sorry.
movie, BC?
Was it-
Legend with
With Tim
I think
Curry and Tom Cruise, right?
yeah, yeah.
Massive movie back in the day.
Plays the Satan in that one or the devil.
You never. What you've learned from this movie is you never touch a unicorn. Don't do it.
I've never seen it. Is it good?
Low calorie IPA. It came in the 12 mix pack. It
Low
was
calorie.
mighty. 3.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories, 4%. Good until January 22, and it is India Pale Ale brewed with monk fruit extract.
monk fruit.
Oh,
I don't know
nice.
much about that.
You know,
I poured this very aggressively. I tilted it at 45 degrees. It kept no head. Can tell you that.
In Chinese, it's called Lo Hong Kuo, monk fruit. It is
Hong Cuomo? What?
Lo Hong Kuomo. It's like stevia. It doesn't affect blood sugar. It has no
Low
calories.
Hong Cuomo would have caused far less legal problems.
Well, let me tell you, I think that was just an excuse to because of Cuomo sending COVID patients to nursing homes. I think that was an excuse to get rid of them, because when the woman that claims she was sexually assaulted in the room, instead of pushing him away and raising her voice at him and fighting off his advances, so to speak, she goes in a regular tone of voice, calmly, the both of us are going to get in trouble for this. Now, a woman that really is being assaulted is going to walk out of the room, push him away first, be demonstrative with him verbally, and leave the room. The woman is not going to stay in the room and calmly say, the both of us are going to get in trouble for this.
And I must ask
the
you,
other side of
James.
the coin is maybe there was some kind of fear, a negative fear that this would impact this person's job if she did any of those things that you said that a typical person in that position would yeah. That's a whole nother legal ramification.
Well, but she's an adult and she made the choice. She made the choice not to scold him, slap his hand, and leave the room. Listen, if there's a casting couch, a woman who's not a minor has a choice. You either lie on the casting couch or you expedite the premises.
Yeah.
Nobody is forcing them.
How long ago did this happen, too? Right.
Right. That's another thing.
Because that's another thing I think of. I think that these people are motivated, and they hold these stories, right? And then all of a sudden, one person comes out, and then 20 people come out, right? It's kind of what happened to sort of reporting it immediately. That way, it can be dealt with immediately. There's all these sort of, you think about it. I mean, kind of in a similar tone there. The former governor of Virginia. There was a picture of him in as blackface, right? I think when he was in his 20s.
Oh yeah,
Rod Northam, I think is his name, right? Rod Northam, and then all of a sudden somebody held on to this probably this one yearbook that exists, right? And then this thing just came out like 40 years after it happened. It's like, it's.
I mean, what someone does in their college years, I mean, and if they happen to be young, they only want to party. I mean, that they're young.
Yeah.
You don't hold that against them because people change. Rod Serling died on under heart surgery. He had
That's
a
right.
heart problem, and that was when surgery was rather archaic compared to what it is now with laparoscopic and robotics. And he smoked, by the way. He smoked
a lot.
He did chain smoke. Okay, and that was his choice. Also, the outer limits. Do not attempt to adjust your horizontal, your contrast, your vertical. We are totally in control. That was what they said in the beginning. That's when the old televisions with the tube inside the tubes, they used to burn out. You know, you had the knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I was the remote control as a child. Hey,
Yeah.
kid, put on channel 2. Put on a
Boy,
WABC. Hey, kid, no, change it. Put it. You know, I mean,
parents are kind of lazy back in the day, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you got the kids sitting right there in between the TV and the parents anyway. So, I mean, that's what I did. I sat in between the TV and my parents watched the TV. They say, I know, hey, change the channel. And then the one TV I had, there was like 2 dials, one for like 2, 4, 7, 9. And then the other one was like for like 20, 50, 56, 62. And it was like, back then, you only had like 6 channels. So it was like,
but they had TV Guide. They had TV Guide. They knew what was going on at every moment. You know, they predetermined what they wanted to watch.
That is true. I do remember when I was younger, the newspaper would have the sort of the TV guide in it. So you'd almost get the daily paper, and then you would know what was on, and then you could also buy the little TV guide, like a little Reader's Digest type thing.
Yeah, it was in the paper. That's
the little TV Digest that you're talking about used to have little articles into them too about certain TV shows and whatnot. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they would have special editions where they would come out with like say 4 to 6 books that you could either like put together as a picture or it was like part of a series.
Well, and then you can imagine how upset you'd be if, you know, my goodness, this show's on tonight, and all of a sudden it's not. You're like, what do you do, right?
Yeah, right. You already had your plan day out.
There's no, yeah. And, you know, there was no such thing as recording something, so you had to get home to watch something too, right? You know.
Yeah, so your day was kind of, yeah, exactly. Your day was planned out, yeah. I mean, today you got, what is it, video on demand, and then you got that DVR. So, I mean, you're pretty much set, man. You can pretty much go do anything you want all week long and it take one day off to watch what you want to watch.
I like that. So, the peaches and eggplants.
Eggplant? Peaches and herbs.
My brother-in-law responds to text messages. Like my mother-in-law will send out a message, hey, who wants to come over for dinner tonight? And he'll do a bunch of those eggplants or whatever, you know?
I mean, oh yeah, eggplant parmesan with no breading. I like an eggplant rollatini where you have
breading,
tomato sauce, eggplant, mozzarella, ricotta cheese, and you do it like a lasagna. But but because a lot of pizzerias they slice the eggplant real thin and they give you all that cheap ass breadcrumb. You know?
Yeah, it's 99. It's kind of like the General Tso's chicken, right? The little piece of chicken is about the size of this right here, but then it's all breaded with all the, you know.
You know, every time I ask the ladies at the Chinese place that was General Tso a real general, and nobody knows. Nobody can answer me. So I said, so you mean so what? General Tso, did he exist? So what? You know, so. Then there's General Chen, General Chen's chicken.
General Chin.
You know, I think that'd be kind of fun, right? You sort of dedicate a whole show to these obscure things that nobody knows the origins of, right? Like next week's show, we're just going to talk about General Tso or Sao or however you say it.
Right, and then we could talk about why a chocolate and vanilla egg cream is called an egg cream if there's no eggs in it.
Yes.
Or it's like you park it in a driveway and drive it in a parkway. I mean, come on.
Right. An eggplant does not resemble eggs whatsoever.
You know what it does represent? You know what it does? Never mind, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I know. It represents a schlong.
The man happened to say it.
Yeah, the phallus, the obelisk.
The obelisk.
The obelisk. You know, speaking of the old time newspapers, you know, in those days, the help wanted section consisted of like several pages, and you can actually call somebody. There were phone numbers. You know, now I don't even think it's even one page anymore. And
You go on Indeed.com. That's what you do.
Well, that's true, right? You know, you had the classified ads in the newspaper, and that used to almost be its whole section, right? You know, almost classified ads, right?
Tiny section now. Oh, God.
Yeah, the classified ad. Yeah, you're right, Jason.
And then, you know, let's say you'd list something, right? And then you get like 100 calls after it's sold, and you have to tell the people, sorry, it's sold. Hello, sorry, it's sold. You know, you're sort of, and then you call the newspaper, get that stupid ad out of there, cancel the damn, even though I paid for a week, quit running it.
Yeah, I remember when Craigslist and Backpage had an adult section. They
Oh, what do they end up calling it? Missed encounters or something?
Well, you know,
My house 4 p.m. No.
technology is great when it comes to job hunting. I mean, with Career Builder and Indeed, you know, you get the jobs emailed to you as often as you want. You have your resume and cover letter downloaded on in your account, and if you like something, you just with one click, you would send your resume right to them. And sometimes, you know, with the headhunters, they find you.
Yeah, they always find you.
Yeah, they find you. And then working, the pandemic has really perfected working from home.
Since I've gotten that new job, I've never stepped one foot inside the office, and I've been working there for over a year.
Hey, wintertime.
And I'm making 10,000.
Remember the ice. You don't have to commute like Jason was saying. There's no commute.
That is the best part when it comes to living in the Northeast.
Well, I mean, the real commute is probably when you wake up from the morning from your bed to the computer. That's about it.
Yeah, me going down my stairs to my basement where my home office is.
The bedroom.
Yeah.
The bedroom. Ooh.
The coffee or tea at the kitchen. Snacks. Boom, boom. The bathroom. Back
Boom,
to
boom, the bathroom.
boom, boom.
Well, see,
Let's
the
go
thing
back
is, right,
to my
is that,
room. We can do it all night, and you
like
can make
these
it feel right.
companies are pretty generous with like sick time or time off or whatever. But you're like, what are you going to do? Call in sick? Hey, I'm too sick to sit in front of my laptop and get on a couple Zoom calls here, right? You know, you're sort of people just don't call in sick anymore if you work from home, you know. But because what are you going to do, right? Back then, you know, they don't come in if you're sick. You know, you cough once, they send you home, kind of thing. But I'm of the old school model where you crawl in sick, right, instead of calling in sick. So you crawl in sick and then you cough on everybody, and then they send you home for the rest of the week or whatever. But working from home, I mean, you're sort of, you know, you really have to be sick. Like, you know, can't you sit in front of a laptop for a couple hours today, you know? And
I mean, and you know, with companies, they probably also think, hey, we don't have to lease all this square footage,
right,
for office space anymore. We can actually downsize because we
absolutely
can assign all these
that's
people.
a whole position at some companies, or even department, the facilities department, right? Because they would be responsible for making sure, you know, think of old school office buildings, right? Making sure that the heater works, that the hot water is working, the water is flowing, you know, the light bulb is, all the electricity. You know, you sort of look at everything that facilities does. They plan desks, so they sit down with HR departments and they say, okay, we're going to hire 20 jobs this month or something. And they say, well, I got to order 20 laptops, 20 desks, 20 chairs, right? I got to find space for all these people. All these facilities people, they don't need, they're just not needed anymore.
No, well, look at academics. Look at school. People are doing everything on their laptop or desktop for the student, for college, for grammar school, high school. I mean,
well, you're absolutely correct, and I know a lot of folks that have been to school recently, and you know, a lot of the online option. They're saying that the education is not as valuable today as it was in the past because that interpersonal relationships are not created because you're sort of all just online, and you know, your study groups and all these other things kind of gone the wayside, right?
Different. You meet friends through social media now.
Right.
You have dating apps. You have a lot of the schools I went to, had no central air conditioning, especially the public schools had no central air. I was dying in the summertime. Now you can be at home as a kid and have your air conditioning blasting, and and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting on a hard wooden chair.
Yeah, that was probably the worst part of sitting on a hard chair. I don't care, especially when you get into high school where you had to change classes every hour. At least you got a break to get up and move around, man.
Yeah.
It was like a little Bob Cratchit desk, from the Christmas Carol. It was like a little, if you had a big ass, man, and you went and sat up, your desk would come with you.
Those guys playing World of Warcraft with all the cheese doodles over their hands.
Oh yeah, South Park when they got all pimply faced and obese, and they were playing World of Warcraft. Something like that. Yeah. Their whole life was the video games. Now I do, sadly, the kids today, they're so brainwashed and hypnotized by video games and being online that they don't get in touch with the flora and the fauna of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I played outside. I did outside stuff. I went fishing. I was out riding my bike everywhere. I did a lot of outdoorsy stuff from daylight until the street lamps went on until sundown. But today, but it was different. There was no technology back then.
Yeah, it's like my
We lost
aunt.
Eric.
Toys.
Yeah, he posted a thing on one of the groups that he's in that he ended up hitting the wrong button. So I guess he'll be back. But getting back to what you were saying, what were you saying? My cousin ended up posting a thing online about back then. It's like, we didn't have no internet, we didn't have no smartphones. All we had was outside and our imaginations. And I gotta admit, that's true. I did have that type of thing back then. It was like you're talking like late 70s, all of the 80s, and most of the 90s, where it was like that.
I had my skateboard. I had my scooter. I had a wagon. I had a flexible flyer sled for the wintertime, made of real wood and red, painted red steel. I had a real sled called the flexible flyer. I had toys were archaic, of course, but I had all outdoorsy stuff. My fishing poles. It was different. It was, but we didn't know any better because we listen. When I started high school, my grandfather he had a subscription to National Geographic, and I saw an article about the first personal computers that were big clunky things, huge monitors and but to me it was so fucking fascinating because I thought of Star Trek. Star Trek was the weekly show, the weekly hit, and you had Captain Kirk having a conversation on deck with the computer, talking back at him, and here in National Geographic, I'm seeing computers for the home, like as archaic as they were then. And now
there was an Arthur, who's the guy that did the Space Odyssey? Arthur C. Clarke, right?
That sounds familiar. Yeah,
he did an interview, I think in the 70s, and he sort of predicted the internet and even the mobile devices. He said there's going to be a time in the near future where you can instantly gain information. You can conduct business anywhere in the world. I'm trying to find that interview. Have you seen it, James? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Where he predicted.
Shit.
Cheers, my friend. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Going down to Southwest.
He predicted how life would evolve, or
No, he actually predicted how
Gee.
the world will change, how the internet will take over, how everyone will have computers. Here we
You shouldn't
go.
use computers like this. No, don't do that.
Here we
No,
go.
but it's like, it kind of proves it falling away.
1974.
Star Trek.
Well,
There you go, James.
our smartphone,
Yeah.
our smartphones were way ahead of the first desktops available.
Yeah.
That shows you, I don't know if it's nanotechnology or what, but it shows you how rapid knowledge is advancing when it comes to technology. Now,
Yeah.
I have this, what do you call, EVP Hunter, Ghost Hunter.
Use the recorder page to start your questions, or just simply use as background recorder on your field trips.
Cheers, crowd.
That's pretty cool there, Eric. I honestly love what was it, 2 weeks ago where you had you were like a little piece of chicken or something in a bowl. That was hilarious.
Greetings. Is there anyone with us while me and my friends here are doing this live stream show on YouTube? Is there any spiritual entity in this 140-year-old territory? Let's see if there's anybody on here.
Nobody's
Is this
oh, no.
Yes, there we go. I love these things.
I'm hating it.
So that one was good. There's another one too where you were like completely bald headed or something. The thing is so good.
Yeah, there we go. Or we had the flame mohawk. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You got to get the crystal out too, James.
Oh, the pendulum. Yeah, let me go get that. Hold on.
There we go. Nice.
Yes, the chicken. Yes, look at that.
Very nice. That doesn't work properly. Why is my head like his mouth?
Let me get the pendulum.
Yeah, I'll be right back too. 1 second.
Ow, what the? Ow. Help me, BC. Ow. Oh, you want me to be bald? I'll be bald for you.
Francois Delabrioski. La Plume. Oh. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, there you go.
You need Rogaine with minoxidil.
What was that guy's name on Breaking Bad? Brian White? Or
Yeah.
Pendulum, are you in the mood to communicate with us during this live stream show? Great rock crystal pendulum obelisk. Yes. Do you feel that the third booster shot for COVID-19 will be able to handle all of the upcoming variants? Yes.
It's weird looking at you like that, man.
Pendulum.
Is this really what Thomas Metal 75 looks like, Pendulum?
Is this what Thomas Metal 75 really looks like in reality? No.
Okay.
Going counterclockwise.
Okay.
Are a lot of the people that I sent the link to that have not joined us, are they pusillanimous squeaks? Are they pigeon-livered cowards?
What is a pigeon liver coward?
Yes. Is it because
There you go.
I hit the raw nerve for, in all of the subjects we discussed. Yes.
I heard you say something about pigeon livers,
Yeah.
James.
Are they pussies in layman's terms?
Yes. Let's just get to the get to the point.
Pussy. The pussification of the American male today.
Just the males, or all of America's?
Well, now is the metro? They used to call them metrosexual. Is this part of the pussification of the American male, or these overly sensitive guys?
What?
Okay.
Yeah. See, now, before we were kind of doing tame stuff, right? Now, James, you're throwing in all these fancy words. I'm sure you're going to get somebody to comment, like the horn dog or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, he was trying really hard to get me to add Ronnie S, his real name is Ronnie Simpson, but he doesn't like when people say Simpson. I don't know.
Ronnie Simpson.
I don't know if it's because people call him, they tease him because of Homer Simpson. I don't know what the real reason is.
Ronnie, you're on the naughty list this year, Ronnie.
Is it because Ronnie S gets teased about the Simpsons, Homer Simpson?
Probably not.
Yes.
I will tell you though that it was very entertaining, that show you did last week with Paul. He can just seem to play music. Hey, let's play a quick song, and then he's very talented.
I'm glad you mentioned. Oh, Paul has been working hard writing new songs that he was commissioned to do for independent films, and he's on a roll. Now, Paul Anthony Mantia, was he attacked unfairly by Nina Yordi because and besmirched, belittled, and by Nina Yordi because Nina drank a lot that day? Was it alcohol?
Not sure.
It hasn't made a decision yet because it's gone back and forth.
Actually, Nina was the one, BC, that essentially said, "Oh, these are computer printed tie-dyes. They're not handmade," and she was kind of calling him out on it.
Yeah, and she called him a smoke and mirrors guy, which really pissed him off.
Yeah.
That doesn't take much to piss him off.
And he has lots of videos of him from beginning to end making his products, making his tie-dye garments.
Well, not as they do that, he had a couple guitars that he had there that he did, like some like suit jackets, kind of like a sport coat type,
right?
Outerwear,
His dyes are very strong from Japan, and they're guaranteed never to fade. Is Paul Anthony Mantia's Northern Lights tie-dye clothing guaranteed never to fade? Yes. Do you think
it's time for a close-up?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah,
we're closing in, folks.
Now, was that very unusual? Because I've never seen her do that before. Was that very unusual for Nina Yordi to personally take those pot shots at Paul Mantia's product, calling him a fake? Yeah. Okay. Is it because she's having personal problems in her life and she got up on the wrong side of the bed?
Oh, geez. That's not an appropriate question, is it?
Well, I'm not appropriate.
You bring up a good point, James. Do people kind of just sit here and troll and just try to get reactions, right? Like,
good point.
What is going on over here? Oh,
that's a good point.
That's a good point, my friend.
That's one thing that Jay has said, though, is he said, "Look, if you have anything to say, I'll give you an hour. Just come online, show your face, right?
Well, a half hour
or a half hour, whatever." but it seems like nobody's done it, right? Like everybody's just sort of
nobody's done it. Because
trolling.
Ronald J. Curio is a stickler for time. His shows must only be an hour long. And
Downbusters in the morning.
my late great original co-host, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, may he rest in peace. He was a stickler for time, really bad, and I used to call him the Clock King. From the Batman series. There was the arch villain called the Clock King.
Whoa.
Oh, meaning like
Yeah.
we're gonna start the show right on time and we're gonna end it right on time.
Yeah, they're a stickler for, and my late friend, the commercial voiceover guy, he was like a stickler for punctuality. Oh, you are 2 minutes late. Punctuality. Yeah, give me a break.
Well, I once had a job where, you go in, you interview, they give you a call. What kind of money do you want to make and everything? And then, all right, you got the job. You start on Monday, right? So I first day I asked my boss, because HR always wants to meet with you first to say, okay, here's your computer, here's your badge, let's sign you up for all the medical and dental and all that. What's your social security number? All that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Log
And
into your password.
And then
or something.
yeah, and then like by the afternoon, you actually finally get over to your desk,
Yeah.
So my boss, the guy that hired me, is like, "Where the hell you been?" Right? I'm like, well, I was told to get here at 9. I got here at 9. I've been with HR filling out paperwork and doing all that for the last 2 hours. It's like, well, where the hell? Nobody told me, right? So he's already got off on a bad start, kind of like.
Didn't that guy have to do that when he got hired? Come on now.
It's weird, right? So he's like,
because this is why I'm so happy that I'm retired and I don't have to deal with asshole scumbag, other fucking pieces of shit, stupid visors. Hold on,
I agree with
I
you.
gotta get a close up of this.
That is really good there. It kind of looks like Baby Bus.
You know what? I like you better than the Hamburglar. I never cared for that Hamburglar.
I'm the guy that stole the burgers, right? A BC burger.
Yeah.
At McDonald's, I used to meet my late friend, the commercial actor, for coffee, because McDonald's we used to go to is on a highway facing the Teterboro Airport, where all the big shots that were going to New York used to land with their private jets, and we used to watch all the private jets. So they had cookies. They were selling big cookies. I says, why don't you? I told the manager, why doesn't McDonald's make the cookies in the shape of the Hamburglar? You can call them crookies.
It's a great idea.
A crookie and a crony?
Yeah, my friend says, it's a stupid idea. No, it's not. That's because you didn't come up with it. That's why. You're jealous. A crookie. Now, Bart, let me ask Bart Robinson. Yeah, you're right. That is definitely not like her at all. Now, what do you think, Bart? Do you think the cookies at McDonald's should be in the shape of the Hamburglar and called crookies? CROO. Okay.
I think that's a great idea, but the problem is that the younger generation, you'd have to have a whole advertising campaign to even explain who the Hamburglar is again, right?
Just eat the cookie, you little.
Just eat the cookie, right?
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth, you little bastard.
They do have like holiday themed pies at McDonald's. They had like a pumpkin cream pie thing that was pretty good. I never get dessert.
My sister just made her famous home baked pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. She did it like last night. She's I guess she's gonna freeze them. Yeah.
Are you going over there for Thanksgiving, James?
Yeah, I'm gonna be spending a few days there. She puts out a pretty good spread, and
pretty good spread right here.
Yeah, when she makes the pumpkin pie, she deliberately goes light. She goes light on the sugar and light on the spices, because she notices that the store-made pies are very heavy on the nutmeg and the spices, and then it overwhelms the flavor of the pumpkin.
You're absolutely
Okay.
correct. I mean,
Well,
and
I
the
hate
texture.
to break up the chat, but I gotta take off, guys. I've got a dad's birthday party to go to, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Well, I tell you
So-
what, BC, just set up the camera in the car, and we'll just follow you as you're driving over there.
Well, that's the thing. I'm driving a scooter, so that's gonna be a little hard to do. So
Oh, a scooter!
Scooter.
Can we see
Yeah.
the scooter before you
Yeah,
go?
let's see the scooter.
all right, hold on. Let me get my coat out.
A literal scooter?
Scooter, 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 scooter. I want to see BC on the scooter.
Well,
I
he's
don't know if I want to see
the one you just had there, Eric. The one with like the shower curtain with the McDonald's logos on it. That was pretty cool.
I have no. There's too many things. Too many things.
You did it like two.
What in the world?
Here we go. Tommy loves it. Another entertaining show.
Burger
Yes.
King. Hey, you see the new commercial where the Burger King, the Burger King king is dancing with his leotards on?
My daughter loves that. Every time she hears it, crank the volume. Oh,
Yeah,
he
he's
jumps up
dancing
and down.
with the leotards.
So, BC, it's your dad's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
He's
birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
birthday.
Say happy birthday from us, even though he would not know.
Happy birthday. Put some mustard on.
Now, that is a very colorful cheeseburger, I tell you.
Let's go back to the 90s.
That big tomato. Tommy Carroll says, another entertaining show, JPM and panel. Thank you, Tommy Carroll. Thank you very much. I send my prayer. You know what? Pendulum, where are you? Where are you? I got an important thing to ask. Is our friend Fart Doctor, is he okay? Is he safe and healthy?
No.
Says yes. Nah. Yeah.
Well, how about for Ronnie S's sake, is the fart doctor now the horn dog?
Is Fart Doctor really Horn Dog? Is he using the Horn Dog alias with that goofy looking pencil neck geek photo?
Well, answer your question about seeing the scooter. Here you go.
Yeah. No.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. Is that why?
No.
Why would an educated medical doctor now? And would an educated medical doctor actually try to fool us by doing something like that?
All right. Peace out, guys.
See you.
See you
Hey,
next
ride
time.
safe. Ride safe, BC.
Oh, I thought he was going to show us him taking off with the.
Uh-oh, what happened here? This thing just crapped me back.
So what do you think? Is the horn dog the fart doctor? Is that?
Yeah, it says yes. Now, I wonder why he would do that. Does that mean Fart Doctor has a sense of humor like that because he's a gastroenterologist and he views people's colons? Yes. So does that mean you have to be very eccentric to be a gastroenterologist? Yes. Now, a man who decides in medical school that he wants to be a gynecologist, and he's not a woman, he's a male. Is he a pervert, or is he a pervert at heart, deep down?
These are odd questions to ask.
I think you're right, James. But I would, I actually have known a couple of those, and the stuff they see and deal with is far worse than you can even imagine.
You mean gynecology?
Yes. You think that you've got just Cindy Crawford type walking in and needing assistance.
Oh, no.
It's beyond anything that you could even comprehend. So yeah, it's a very specialized medicine.
In other words, it's like a prostitute. You can't. You usually, in general, you don't pick and choose.
Right.
Your clientele. In other words, you can have You can have a good-looking patient, or you can have a Honey Boo Boo's mother, or you can have an ugly, obese woman come in that stinks to high heavens when she spreads her legs.
Correct. And then you've got the whole yeast stuff,
Yeast, yeah.
right? And all the other discharge and everything. Yeah. Eric's
What
like,
are
you
we
know,
talking
please,
about?
yeah.
I wonder if a woman's yeast can leaven bread dough or pizza dough. I wonder if it has leavening
That's a good point.
quality.
Yeah. That's a good point.
What's going on here now? Eric is becoming very shy. He's not like that. He's a heavy metal musician. He's not shy about these topics.
Actually, I have a
Know
question
about
for.
leavening of any bread with that yeast. No.
I mean, you know, you guys are used to groupies, you know, getting all gaga over you dudes. Oh, go ahead. Question for by Jason.
No, well, it's maybe a comment.
Comment by Jason.
You made a comment that Eric was the originator of Wild Card Wednesday. Because I noticed that nearly at the same time that Jay is doing his show, Eric is also live. But you see some people joining some shows and not others. And that's very interesting. Kind of a feminine looking.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, yeah, Eric. Look, listen. I gotta tell the truth. Like George Washington about the cherry tree, which I don't even know if he really chopped down a cherry tree, but I gotta be honest. He is the originator, the brainchild of the Wild Card Wednesday theme. Now, the other show is called Joker's Wild Wednesday.
Yes.
Ronald J. Terrio, who was probably watching college football.
No,
Again.
he said he was watching the National Socialist Football Club or something. He made a funny comment about that.
Yeah. Well, okay. What was I saying?
You were saying that he was the originator of Joker's Wild Card Wednesday.
Well, he came out with Joker's Wild. Now the problem, like the same thing with Jesse. He had themes. It's not easy.
It's definitely not.
Every week with the theme. Really, it's because people in different parts of the country have access to different beers, wines, and liquors.
Well, even to that end, you know, and because Eric is a content provider, or however he wants to be known, right? You have to come up with a theme, and then you have to broadcast the theme and give people enough time. Like you can't just say on Wednesday morning, send an email out, oh, we're doing beers of Belgium or something, right? It's not enough time. Right. So you have to almost have like a Google Calendar that you share with all these people?
Events, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed? I'm glad you said that, Jason. I noticed that StreamYard doesn't have the ability to create a profile that you can place in a genre.
What do you mean by that?
Like, in other words, I've seen other similar websites, not as advanced as StreamYard, but I've seen others where, let's say your show is called Wildcard Wednesday. Then, if you want, you can create a Wildcard Wednesday profile with description and other, you know, maybe some photos here and there, some images. And then you could tell people when your show is going live. But then you also have a genre. And your genre would be, well, it's craft beer review would be a subdivision, I think, of entertainment, right? Entertainment education. Wait a minute. Actually, it's kind of both. So
it can be both.
It can be both. So then people would go through a directory of shows that are whenever they are, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And they would pick and choose ahead of time what they want to see. Now, StreamYard doesn't have that. I guess they leave it up to
Not this one.
people to create, web pages on their own.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we have, which can be done. And, Michael Komaroff never got back to me because I think that what he does on Thursday is very unique, and it would be a huge hit. And I offered to put his extravaganza, his event, on StreamYard, but he never got back to me.
He talked about you today, James, in Stout Sunday.
Oh yeah, what did I do?
On John and Neeley. Have you seen that program, John and Neeley Stout?
Oh
Sunday?
yeah, oh yeah. We're all
I know of it, but I'm usually sawing wood at that time.
Morning wood.
Morning wood. Yeah, boing down.
No, he said something about, and I don't want to get it wrong, but he mentioned your name and said, "Yeah, that sounds interesting," and he's got to get back to you, or something to that effect.
Oh, okay. Well, he got my messenger. He got my messenger message.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing what Michael Komaroff does on Thursday night.
Now,
it really is freaking unique.
What is he doing?
Hey, hold on. Let me get the banana.
You're making me crazy. Yeah.
Why did Bart Robinson lose his appetite?
I think it was one of the things about the yeast. Maybe we were talking about
the yeast, whether or not it can leaven bread, it can leaven dough.
I think something to that effect. Yeah.
Now, what he does is he has a group of relatives and friends, perhaps, come and sit around his big dining room table, and he has a whole bunch of craft beers where he doesn't tell anybody what they are. Everybody gets a sample of beer number one, and they smell it, they taste it, they review it, and they answer a series of questions that is connected with the review. And then they have to guess certain things, the alcohol content. They have to give their opinion on what they think of it. And then when everybody's done critiquing what they just tasted, then Michael Komaroff unveils what the beer is, or the ale, or the stout, or the porter, when everybody's finished. And that is pretty much what the event is. It's just like a big Knights at a Round Table, big, long, rectangular dining room table full of people who are craft beer enthusiasts, like Eric is. They are enthusiasts.
That is rather unique.
Enthusiasts.
And I would say that having recently stumbled upon videos where he's joined, his voice and his demeanor are it's very interesting. The way he speaks, his dialect, his point of view on things. And I don't know if he even has a channel on YouTube, but
no, Michael doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know that he ever will, to be completely honest. But
I see him. I don't even know if he has a YouTube channel. I see him. You must be drinking
get to the
very anabolic steroid-rich craft beer there from Deutschland.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he is very dedicated scientific evaluator.
And I think he's somewhere in your neck of the woods, so to speak, James, in the tri-state metro area, right?
He's in
Well,
Brooklyn, New York. I
He
think.
lives in Brooklyn, New York. He's from Brooklyn, New York. And I've been to his home because that's how I found out about what he does on
Oh, so
Thursday.
you actually met him in person?
Yeah, me and Ronald J. Theriot drove all the way up north here. And after stopping by his daughter and Alex, the beer master, and somewhere in Baltimore, Maryland, and hung out there. And then Alex, and then he came by, he picked me up outside. We went to City Island in the Bronx and had fantastic seafood. And because of the tropical storm and the flash floods, we didn't get a chance to go to the Italian neighborhood that he wanted to show me. So we went from the Bronx all the way to Brooklyn to Michael Komaroff's apartment for this extravaganza, this event. And I found it fascinating, and because Michael's like really dedicated to this craft beer reviewing. He really is, and that's why he's great on Stout Sunday, and so is John Anilli. John Anilli is a very intelligent man, like yourself, Jason.
Well, thank you.
He has, he's a career man. He's not like one of these lushes that do all these miscellaneous live streams. They're like, I drink hams, I drink hams, I drink hams. Oh, I love hams.
That gentleman is rather entertaining, though.
Yes.
Wow,
but how did you find?
They find you. You don't find them.
So is that what happened? Michael just was a subscriber to Ronald Theriot, and then
pretty much.
How do you? And then you said, well, let's meet up, and then that's how the in-person meeting happened. Then, right?
Well, I of course I've communicated with everybody in our immediate circle for years.
Yeah.
We got to know each other because of the wonders of high technology and all this video chatting. And we got to know each other that way, which is almost as good as knowing people face to face, but it's pretty close. And because of that, it just happened. He says he's coming up here, and he took all the toll-free roads, which took him longer. Are you man? You related to Man Bear Pig from South?
I have no clue. Who is Man Bear Pig? Who is Man Bear Pig?
Are you serial? I hope you're serial about all this.
Whoa. Creepy.
See, that one's pretty creepy. Okay, I see what you're saying, James.
Yeah.
So you're sort of.
Yeah, so that's how we did.
Was this recently?
Oh, several months. That was over the summer, right?
The end of summer. Fairly big women, but I'll pass on the East. Well, those are women who do not practice good hygiene. Big women, it depends. If it's a big woman who is curvaceous and she's solid, all in the right places, and she has the breasts, but she has to have a very pretty face.
Not like this one.
Then I can deal with it. I don't want a woman where you have to roll them in flour just to find the wet spot. Just to find the wet spot, you got to roll them up in flour.
Slap the thighs, ride the waves.
Yeah, no human waterbeds. Yeah, so no pig is safe in Germany, I hear, and
no.
You can eat everything on a pig except the oink. Pretty much.
That is true. Yeah.
Yet they're very intelligent. They're supposed to be more intelligent than
a dog.
No, we're not very intelligent. No.
They're livestock.
No.
Yeah, but people that get these Vietnamese potbelly pigs as pets, they actually lie to them. They say that, they stay small. They can go in a litter box.
That stays super small.
Bullshit. They stay small when they're young. So, the we bounced around to a lot of different subjects.
Michael, so I guess to close that out, then, did you have dinner with him? Did you?
No. Me and Ronald Tirio had dinner at the Johnny's Reef at the end of City Island in the Bronx. I had a mountainous, succulent, very tender platter of fried calamari with French fries and a large chocolate shake.
Ooh.
And he had a big jumbo shrimp salad with a beer. And it was a very beautiful area. And there were all marinas around there. But, you know, you're in Washington, so you know all about marinas. And
Yeah, it's probably dark where you both are now, right? Has the sun gone down?
Oh yeah, it's dark. It is.
Oh yeah, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. You
I
were
guess
3 hours. So you
At
were
least
3
the
hours.
benefit of being on the West Coast here. Yeah, we've still got a nice sunshiny day here.
Well, we had sunshine too, except you
It was
know,
pretty cloudy in Massachusetts most of today. Yeah.
you know, it's no matter how you shake it. I mean, you know, 3 hours ahead, 3 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I hate this time of the year.
What do you got? What do you got?
I
Time
know.
change and it gets darker earlier, and you're leaving work or whatever, and it's already dark outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I spent 2 years living in Ireland, and being more north on the Atlantic there, right? The time change is even more drastic.
Wow.
So when you change your clocks, like you're talking, it wouldn't get light out. Let's say in the deep winter time, like December, Christmas time, right? You're talking probably 9 o'clock in the morning before it gets light, and about 3:30, it's almost pitch black, right?
Holy moly!
In Ireland?
Yeah.
So,
But then you get the contrast in the summertime. It's light out at 4:30 in the morning, and then it doesn't get dark until like 11:30 at night.
is this because it is much closer to the Arctic Circle
That's
than
correct. It's very high up on the parallel, very high on the parallel, right?
Yeah, because the Arctic Circle goes through northern Scandinavia,
Right.
like
Right.
that.
And it's even more drastic in Finland and all these other Nordic countries.
Well, don't you see the aurora borealis in northern Finland, Norway, and Sweden?
Yes. Yeah.
And Alaska, of course. Our Arctic Circle.
Yes, and then places in Alaska, people. I mean, yeah, you hear people. Let's go play golf at midnight because it's still dusk. You know, it doesn't even really get dark. You know, you're sort of. That must be kind of freaky, and then the contrast. You know, you get like an hour or two of daylight a day, right?
Yeah.
I from what I understand, the Gulf Stream goes as far north as I think Iceland, and it might hit it might hit Great Britain too. I hear the Gulf Stream is the reason why the British Isles, or should I say, not to offend the Irish, the islands, Scotland, England, and Ireland.
Wales. Yeah.
Yeah, Wales, Cornwall, there's Wales. The thing is that their weather is very misty, foggy, rainy, and not really freezing cold, even though they are situated
Correct.
very far north.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible weather all the time. That is the best way for me to describe it. It's just terrible weather all the time. It's always raining. It's always misty. It's always cold, damp, right? They build homes out of like cinder blocks there because if you build them out of wood and with siding, they just get soaked to the bone. So
even in Ireland, it rains a lot.
It rains a lot. Yeah, a lot. And it's these storms, right? So you sort of look out onto I was in the West Coast, so you sort of, the storms would typically come from the east to the west, but then you'd also get some storms coming up from the west too, and it'd rain and then it'd be sunny, and then a half hour later it'd rain and it's just this constant freaking,
Is that why there's so much green vegetation and peat moss?
That's right. Yeah, because it just is always damp. That's one way to hang on here. Best way to describe it is it's just very damp. And it's that misting rain that sort of just like will penetrate every jacket that you've ever worn.
So if you're subject to sore throats, you'll probably get a lot of them up there.
Yeah.
Now I hear that they dry out blocks of peat moss and use it as firewood in Ireland.
That's a correct statement. Yeah, when you go to a petrol station, they call it. So I had a coal burning fireplace, right? There's really no wood there, and I get there. So I was actually assigned to do a project there for my work many years ago, and you sort of, all right, you're transferred over to Ireland. Here's where you're going to stay. Here's your car, all these sort of things. And, you get there and you don't know anybody, you don't know anything. Driving on the other side of the road, very difficult to get used to for many reasons. Because, when you're driving here, you're used to looking up to the right to look at the rearview mirror. Over there now, you're now looking to the left. Everything's to the left, exit left, everything shifting.
Right.
The manual transmission with your left hand, all that stuff. But then you're like, all right, how am I going to heat my place, right? So there's no Home Depot or Lowe's, sort of it's a lot different. You got to get used to that. So you go to the petrol station. That's where you buy your fuel to keep your house warm. And to your point, yes, peat moss, a lot of peat, and it comes in these little bricks. Think of like a brick like you'd build a house with, but they're bricks of peat moss, right? So you sort of start a fire with the peat moss, get that going, get some coals going, and then you add coal, like actual coal, like, you buy big 50-pound bags of coal and you get coal dust everywhere. So you have like a room separate to the living room where you keep all your coal, and then you fill up your little bin in that room, and it's just black everywhere in this room. And then you add coal to this thing to keep the fire going, and then it crackles, and it's just very dusty, and it's just, completely foreign to anything I'd ever done, but it's just the way it is out there, so.
From what I understand, the coal burning stove, he's in the state of Washington right now. Jason's in the state of Washington.
It is very gloomy in Massachusetts too.
Well, here too. I'm in northeastern New Jersey. He's in southern New Jersey. But from what I understand, the difference between the wood burning stove and the coal burning stove is that the coal burning stove is like banked. They have two steel plates coming.
That's right.
Like a V, right?
Yep.
They call it banking, or it's banked. And
yeah, the thing is, right, you get these big bags of coal, and sometimes you get good coal so that they're good, like softball sized pieces, because that's what burns the longest. But then you get these little, like they call them gravel or whatever, think of like dice, like
the dusty coal.
The dusty, right? So then that's the stuff that just creates the dust all over the place. And it's a big drawn out to do. It's
the dust, doesn't the coal dust from the little ones just go up the pipe? And
it does, yeah, it does. But you got to get it out of this big, so like think of a big burlap bag, and then you've got to get it into your little pail, because that's what you would sort of, and with your tongs you'd add pieces of coal to the fire with. But you're not going to dump this thing in your living room, you're going to dump it in the coal room.
Yep.
Which is like where you also do laundry in, sort of like a laundry room / coal room. And there's just black, like the walls are all black and everything. It's just, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
And that's the thing too, right? Like if you go visit over there, you're going to stay in a hotel. You're not going to have to experience any of this stuff, so it's sort of part of the charm, I guess, of living abroad, living in a foreign country, is all this stuff that you kind of don't experience if you're just there on vacation.
I mean, where does Ireland get its coal from? Is it?
It's a good question. I'm sure it's imported. Everything's imported. They really don't produce hardly anything there natively, and it's very expensive.
The only forests in Ireland are the blackthorn forests where they make the shillelaghs, and where Wicklow,
yes,
County.
County Wicklow, yes.
County Wicklow.
There's an interesting place in Ireland called the Burren. You should take a look and look it up. and that's sort of this kind of. It almost reminds you of kind of being on Mars. Maybe I can share some pictures of what this thing looks like here.
Yeah. My good luck cudgel shillelagh's made of blackthorn, but it's they also make the walking sticks out of them. But that's the only forest I know of. Now, according to the history, the shillelaghs used to be made of oak, but the British destroyed most of the oak trees in Ireland because the Irish were very good at stick fighting. It's a martial art called Irish stick fighting.
That's right.
Yeah, and they did a number on the English.
See if you can see this. Can you see this? Is that showing up there? Yeah. So the Burren, it's like being on the moon when you go there. It's very unique. And I actually lived in Clare, so it was pretty close to where I lived. But it's these bog. It's like a bog, very damp, but it's like this hard rock limestone, very unique. Very unique. So yeah,
Interesting.
very interesting.
So they now when you get the peat, the blocks of peat moss, they're very dry and hard, right?
That's correct.
Firewood.
Like wood. Yeah, and what I understand, the Mongolians use the feces of their livestock as firewood and for cooking. They I guess all the fiber that their livestock consumes, they dry out the fecal matter, and they use it as for firewood and cooking, which must really stink to high heavens.
Sounds delicious.
And the Indians, being that they worship the cow so much, they use actual cow dung in making bricks for their homes. I mean, I'm not talking about the Indians that live in the major cities of India,
See, that's the ultimate in sustainability, right? We're trying to move to this carbon neutral, zero emission, no waste thing. That's the best way, in my opinion, to fuel is to try to reuse animal fecal matter, right? That's essentially useless. Well, it has a use. Think about it.
Yeah. I will look at pig manure. There's so much pig manure in the American livestock industry for pigs. There's really a massive amount of it, and it could be fermented and turned into methane gas. And they do it, like an ethanol or methane gas. And
absolutely. But the problem, James, and you know this, is that every politician has somebody in their hip pocket paying them, some lobbyist group to say, no, we can't do that and stuff, right? So we're never really gonna, until you get sort of people thinking long term, these notions of Earth Day and I think they're fantastic, but you need more people behind those. That way of thinking, or it's never going to gain traction.
Well, look at the offshore electric wind generators that they're building now. I mean, where could you get more wind than out on the ocean? And it's I guess they anchor them like giant buoys, or they make this grid of the tall windmills that they usually put on land, but now it's not an eyesore on land anymore. It's now out in the ocean, offshore, more than enough wind, non-stop wind, and all these windmills are turning. And then you have hydroelectric power with waterfalls, and you have a new type of solar generator made by German scientists, where instead of solar panels that would take up a lot of acreage, you have these solar towers that you can put, let's say, in the Mojave Desert or Las Vegas Desert, and acquire electricity. They showed how much territory of the Sahara Desert would supply like a whole continent practically, like a small, tiny percentage of the Sahara devoted to solar energy is all that will be required. But like you said, Jason, corrupt politicians, lobbyists, Nikola Tesla perfected the electric. Actually,
Yes.
the electric vehicle was invented in the 1920s, and they had no problems with it. Then Nikola
I
Tesla.
know.
Well, they were out in 1909. It was called the Baker.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, back to Nikola Tesla. I mean, you know, I think Thomas Edison stole a bunch of his ideas and kind of tried to blacklist him back in the day, right?
Yeah, well, look at Marconi, the Italian, really invented the telephone, and then Alexander Graham Bell. You know, they because they were prejudiced against Marconi and his heavy accent. They Graham Bell took the credit. Thomas Edison is the one who ended up in history books, not Nikola Tesla.
Correct.
And Nikola Tesla blew away Edison.
Correct.
But J.P. Morgan went with Edison because
Exactly.
because Tesla said.
You know, if you remember, back when they were trying to, because electricity wasn't safe when it first came out, right? It was sort of unregulated. People didn't know what it was and stuff. So there was a famous story about them electrocuting an elephant on a bridge. Do you recall this, James?
No.
Hang on, let me find this here. This is an interesting story.
I know about the DC versus alternate current. I know that Tesla says there's enough electricity in the Earth's atmosphere and in the ground that everyone on Earth can have free electricity, and there's no need to charge people for electricity. And J.P. Morgan, who was the oligarch of the day, of the time rather, oligarch of the time, did not want to go for that, and that's why to sell out Thomas Edison ended up in the history.
Yeah. So this was a film put out by the Edison Film Company, right? And they were to kind of promote how safe electricity was. They actually electrocuted an elephant. I mean, it's sort of yeah.
Oh.
This is
Wow.
and it's a very short film. You know, I mean, think about this, right? You're electrocuting an elephant to prove how safe. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So there's something you didn't. Yeah, you know, we learn something new every day. Hopefully, this is. I certainly don't. Maybe we watched the movie, right? Because it's from 1903. Think about that, right? This poor elephant here. I think this was in New York City or something at the time too, right?
Gee,
I mean, look at that.
an Asian elephant, probably from a circus.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I can stop it if you want, James. We don't have to watch this on your show.
Oh, they're going to show the elephant getting electrocuted.
I think they actually cut away just before.
Well, I mean, no, you might as well show it.
All right.
You might as well show it. Oh, there it goes.
Whoa.
Yeah, see.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
Gee whiz.
Humans put an elephant to the ground. What? That makes it look safe, right? Don't we use the electrocution to kill certain prisoners? Holy crap!
Isn't that crazy? So yeah.
Their eyes shut so they don't bulge out. Yeah, the electricity is safe.
Yeah. Well, Ted Bundy was fried by what do they call it? Old Sparky.
Very much. Ted Bundy.
Affectionately called Old Sparky.
It's crazy.
Oh, hang on, I gotta stop sharing here.
Yeah. So
There we go.
actually, this show is a spin-off of Progressive Discussions because we touch upon serious subjects, consumer advocates, science, technology, as well as craft beer, cooking. BC, I really wanted to see BC speed off on a scooter.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Well, I mean, you know, it would have been amusing.
You got to get a helmet cam.
He
BC No,
didn't have a helmet on.
that's not good. BC, wear your helmet.
Yeah. Now, when you have you should see the people around here with their electric skateboards and scooters. Those damn things are fast. I mean,
Oh yeah.
They look like they're going 30 miles an hour top speed.
Have you seen these people that like stand on these kind of unicycle type things? These are like it's like a big wheel that has like a little platform to stand on, and then you kind of lean forward and they just zip down the road in these things. It's crazy.
They have an electric skateboard with a big round wheel, like it looks like a ball in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And I never get a chance to ask them how long could you travel on a full charge because they go by so fast. And we're not talking about children. We're talking about middle-aged people zooming by. And they're up and down the residential streets. They go along the walkway, which is like a park. We have this walkway that goes for miles down the Hudson River, overlooking New York. And there's park benches, there's street lamps, and they zoom, but there's also these new mountain bikes now with these big fat tires, and some of them have an electric motor.
Yeah, my buddy's got one. He goes it's like 20 or 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, what's the purpose of those fat tires on the mountain bike?
They can go through different types of terrain depending on where you want to go on your mountain bike.
So it's more durable.
They're more durable, yeah. So if you're going through, if you're on the road, or if you're going back onto a sidewalk, or you're going to a part where it's a little gravelly or something, you can get through those areas.
Yeah. Now, if you're on the side of a street and you're moving pretty good on your mountain,
yeah,
and you need to get up on the sidewalk, that will fly up over the curb, just like.
I wouldn't trust it to do that. No, probably not. But a lot of what do you call them? A lot of these paths that are built for bicyclists, these towns don't want the electronic bikes to go on those bike paths because they're going so fast. There's potentially so many people on these bike paths that you won't even hear the electric bike coming up from behind you.
No, you don't.
That's true. That's very true.
It's silent.
I don't hear them, and you know what? They don't have the courtesy of ringing a little bike bell. Ding 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 ding. They don't do anything. You hear like a hum. Unless it's windy out, then you hear nothing.
Yep.
And accidents can really happen. I mean, there are senior citizens that are taking a walk. There are women with young children.
Or you're walking a dog, and then the dog kind of, the dog smells something, and it kind of goes to that area, and all of a sudden, boom, you're like,
gets hit by an electric bike.
Well, they do the same. They do the same thing that young people with racing motorcycles do on a highway. Swerve. And they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to stay within the traffic and obey the same traffic laws as cars and trucks.
They're supposed to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, supposed to, right. But getting back to technology, I mean, I know the electric cars didn't have these big lithium batteries back in the 1920s, but now you have them, and more car manufacturers are putting out electric vehicles as the years go by, more and more. But they're expensive, I hear, if you need to replace the battery.
That's correct. That is
correct. You can easily take the batteries out and and switch them out to a similar model bike. Yeah, they're interchangeable, but they don't just fit in any bike. There's so many different parts and accessories and different things you can get for those bikes. Like you can add extra lights on it so that people can see you when you're driving around.
You have the charging stations starting to be opened up, but for homeowners, it's really great because you just simply charge up your electric vehicle at home. Yeah, homes have outdoor outlets, electrical outlets, and you plug it in. But now, if you're going to go on a long trip, of course, you need access to the charging stations. Until what's the next technology is anti-gravity devices.
Jeez, it's like a hoverboard from Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, George Jetson. Yeah,
I don't know if that's ever going to happen to George Jetson situation.
yeah. His boy Elroy, his daughter Judy, Jane, his wife.
Steal some money from him.
Well, how about this? I mean, this would be a massive undertaking, but they just signed into law the infrastructure bill, right? Or some portion, some reduced portion of the infrastructure bill. But imagine very far in the future where the road is electrified. Okay, so there's gone are the days of charging your battery because your car is powered by the road, which can carry conductive current through it. Now you'd have to do this to all the roads or maybe just the major roads. So you charge your car when you get home, and then maybe out of your neighborhood, and then when you get to a main road, then it's being charged while it's on the main road or being powered by, and then you pay a per mile or some sort of a current fee to pay for these, and then you'd have essentially limitless range without needing to recharge, right? Depending upon how long you can stay on these roads that are electrified.
Well, there is limitless electricity in the earth and in the atmosphere, and Nikola Tesla proved it. But the big but is the evils of capitalism, privatization.
I think the big challenge when it comes to electricity and using it as, having electrified vehicles and having electric cars and stuff like that, or anything else that needs to run on electricity is not the cost of it all, right? It's having places for storage of all of this. The storage, you have to have enough places that can store all of this. So you generate all this electricity. How is it all going to be stored to be used as energy?
Correct, because you have to have massive capacitors, right, which would store and kind of back to your point, James, about the wind too. I mean, you can generate limitless electricity, but how are you going to store it, right? How are you going to distribute it? Yeah. So that might be, think about what's the next big thing, right? The next big thing might be how to store massive amounts of electricity for long periods of time. I mean, you're thinking beyond capacitors, beyond batteries.
Yeah.
What are you pasting in here, James?
No, that's your link that you put in private.
Yes,
Putting
that
it
was
in the comments.
I think that I can't even remember what that was for now.
I don't know. Was the Ireland thing or?
That was the Arthur C. Clarke interview in 1974, where he predicts the internet and personal computers.
Well, look at talking about technology. Look at something simple like the induction range, electromagnetic.
Yes.
You put it on. Let's say you got a timer. You select the temperature. Let's say the temperature you want to select is 350 degrees for 20 minutes. Right? You put your hand on it. It's cool. It's room temperature. You're not burning your hand. You put a stainless steel or iron or anything that a kitchen magnet would stick to. You put that a pot on there or pan, and it cooks right away, hot,
boiling in seconds, right?
Yep.
It's insane the amount of energy.
I mean, the
more efficient than electric stoves.
Yeah, like it's like it's cool to the touch. but you can only use cookware that a magnet will cling to.
Mhm.
So that includes like stainless steel, cast iron, carbon steel, like my wok. Because I tested out which
What about like graphite?
cookware. My stovetop grill is the steel that's used. The magnet goes boing. Graphite.
Yeah, they got those from like Graph Tech, like non-stick Graph Tech kind of pots and pans too.
I mean, if a magnet will stick to it,
Yep.
it can be used on an induction range. Now, I will not buy any nonstick cookware anymore because there is a chemical in a nonstick cookware, as well as other products like plastic containers, that gets leached out, that is toxic.
Correct.
So I have my cast iron wok. I have my carbon steel flat bottom wok with wooden handle. I have a cast iron griddle and grill that goes over 2 jets, rectangular. I have a cast iron skillet, and I have a little cast iron skillet for making eggs. I mean, cooking eggs. I have a what else do I have? Of course, I have the stainless steel pot for boiling and steaming. But I have everything I can use on an induction. But right now, a good induction range is about $100. But I don't really need it because I have a gas stove. For those that live like in a college dorm or
Or how about these people that do like stealth camping and they cook in their cars and stuff like that? It'd be perfect.
Yeah, because there's no carbon monoxide danger. It's electric, but it's efficient electric because it'll get hot right away.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside, I can only think of the downside and the plus to like having a gas stove is when the power goes out, you can relight the gas. You can't do that on an induction.
With a match, yeah.
Yeah. That is the plus to having that as your backup, yeah.
Plus, using the stovetop grill from Korea, the flame is nice. I mean, there's something about, I don't know if it's all imaginary, but the heat, nothing drips on the flame, which is methane gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing drips on it. All the fat goes into the moat, which is on the bottom of the stovetop grill. You put water in it, everything drips down because the stovetop grill, the top is slightly concave.
Right.
Slightly. Convex would be the opposite. It would be, inward.
Mm-hmm.
So everything drips down, but nothing really hits the flame. But I noticed the gas stove, opposed to the electric stoves that are in new apartments and condos, is that you can change the temperature immediately by adjusting the gas.
Yeah, I'd rather have gas than electric. Electric is just not very, very efficient.
Yeah, you can quickly change the heat.
Yep. Heats up quicker.
Technology. Look at medical technology. The surgeons are doing surgery with robotics. They're controlling robotic arms. They got laparoscopic. In the old days, they had to saw your sternum in half to do open heart surgery.
Be right back.
Okay.
Open heart. Yeah. Yep.
Now speaking of, woke and all this, because the Indian reminds me of that.
Yeah.
The Washington Redskins could just not use the word Redskins and just keep the logo, because that's a very nice image.
There's still a lot of people that are out there that are angry that the Cleveland Indians changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, because you're talking about a little over 100 years of tradition.
At this point, it's got to me at least, it doesn't have anything to do with racism. Like no one's trying to claim that players and management for the Cleveland Indians are some kind of out of their mind racist here, that they hate Native Americans, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, the Chicago Blackhawk hockey team has a very nice Native American image of a warrior. The Washington football team had a very nice image of a Native American warrior.
Yeah, I think more or less.
Call him the
The
Washington
giant
Warrior.
problem is that guy's face is bright red. That's probably the main problem.
He's got a cartoonish, huge smile on his face, and I think the problem is it's a cartoonish face that's red.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's red, just like some of the old racist cartoons would take magpie birds, crows, and have them talk like with African American accent.
Yeah.
You know, like
and that,
Heckle and Jekyll, they were called.
oh,
There were
Jesus.
two magpies. Or Dick Tracy used to have some of the detectives. Go Gomez would be sleeping under a sombrero until Dick Tracy called them with an assignment.
Well, yeah. Well, then you had
Joe Jitsu.
There was a cartoon character out there. Was that Warner Brothers that did the Looney Tunes? The character's name was Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Slowpoke Rodriguez was Speedy Gonzales.
from those
cousin or brother.
Yeah, from those Speedy Gonzales cartoon.
Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Now Joe Jitsu.
And he was very sleepy all the time too.
Yeah. Sí, señor. He talked like Gabriel Solari.
Oh boy.
Then you had the Joe Jitsu that had the buck teeth and the real thick eyeglasses.
Yeah.
And then they probably got offended. The visually impaired were probably offended by Mr. Magoo. By George.
One of the mental handicapped people or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, mentally challenged. Now they're mentally challenged. You know, I remember Mr. Magoo was taking a walk, and he walked up to a window and thought it was a maternity ward, and there were really rotisserie chickens. And he was.
You can't make fun of it. You can't mess around with anything these days. You can't laugh at anything because somebody's always going to get pissed off and offended, and then there goes trying to laugh at something. Right?
Now, everybody has to walk on eggshells today. It's ridiculous. I mean, does everyone have to be so thin-skinned? Now, Ronald Theriot was very upset recently this weekend because a longtime friend of his that was on his friends list on Facebook defriended him.
Okay.
Because of he had a difference of opinion with the Rittenhouse verdict.
Oh Jesus!
The Rittenhouse verdict.
People are getting crazy about that.
The kid that was blubbering in the courtroom. Yeah, the Rittenhouse verdict. I mean, to have a political difference of opinion, there's no reason to end a friendship.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I don't get. I mean, so many people are. The problem I think here is nobody acts. There's tons of people out there that either A, no longer trust the system, or B, they never have trusted the system that's designed to work correctly. I know, contrary to popular belief, it is designed to work correctly. And if we allow it to work correctly, the system is going to be able to work correctly. But if we constantly in the United States have this, we just doubt it all the time, it's never going to work properly, right? That's what yeah. Self-doubt. I mean, and then people wanting to be what do you call it, social justice warriors. You ain't the police. Get the hell out of there. That's my opinion on things. I'm not going into a dangerous situation.
I mean,
start up a fight here.
I used to tell. I mean, we used to tell Italian American jokes. You know, like what? How come it's difficult for Italians to commit suicide because you can't kill yourself by jumping out of a basement window.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they used to use the basement for everything.
Yeah.
And the upstairs living room was like a museum
Right.
for holidays and special guests. You know, and then on what's on the bottom of every Polish wine bottle, open other end.
Jesus.
I mean, but you know, but nobody had nobody, you know, hated anybody. They were just funny jokes. But now, oh my goodness,
You'd be canceled immediately. I just put my headset back in and I heard the Polish wine bottle open other end. My goodness.
yeah, about the Italians don't commit suicide. It's hard to commit suicide because you can't jump out of a basement window and kill yourself.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is that people weren't thin-skinned back then. They, you know, they had a good laugh, but there was no hatred. And the same thing goes for like the Washington football team and the Cleveland Indian fans. I mean, over 100 years of tradition, and you have to change it now.
Well, what's interesting too is it feels to me anyway that nothing is sacred anymore, right? You're almost you're everything that you have beloved for a long time could get taken away in a matter of minutes, right? If someone is triggered by it or if someone is offended by it. So you sort
Enough
of
people are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Ben's rice gone.
Aunt Jemima's like the pearl milling company now. You see commercials for it.
Aunt Jemima.
What in the hell?
Mrs. Butterworth, they still use the same bottle with the bottom heavy woman.
Probably. Oh, not for long, I guess. Oh, now that you mentioned it, that's going to go away. You had to mention it in the media here. You're a part of the media causing the problem with.
Yeah, what's next? We can't call black olives anymore.
Black
They
Friday.
are dark gray olives.
It's not Black Friday anymore.
Oh God!
No,
it's
really?
inclusive day.
No, I'm just
all inclusive Friday. No, it's shop. I Joe Biden, right?
What's the origin of Black Friday?
Sucker Consumers Day.
This is a very dark day where everybody's got to run on top of each other to go get a sale.
Yeah, like the South Park episode when they were trampling each other, people would be dying. You know.
So Black Friday originated in Philadelphia in 1961.
Really?
It was used by police to describe a heavy pedestrian and vehicular traffic that would occur the day after Thanksgiving.
That was very black, huh?
Philadelphia, huh? Isn't that where ice cream was invented too?
Philadelphia.
I think so.
I don't know.
You know, with the pandemic, you're right. Kind of with Black Friday, you're. I don't know if you'll ever see people like, you know, they like open the gates and, you know, they'd have 10 TVs for $100 or something. And you got these people that are literally just sprinting down there and fighting over it and stuff. You know, it's, I don't know if you'll see that anymore. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is my Black Friday. Amazon Prime.
Right? Yeah.
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, where you spend over $1 billion as a country.
I know. Think about that.
China's Cyber Day is a national holiday, November 11th.
What I don't understand about China is that when they have holidays, they just don't have it for a day. It's for a whole week.
That's good.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
We get a whole week sometimes too, America. We are workaholics.
A week of festivities and food and grog.
Let me ask you guys this question.
I think it would be good if America, you know, treated their workers with more respect rather than, you know, we're gonna strap them thin not hire enough people at these companies and then just say, oh well, we can do more with less. That's a bad idea.
Is the United States, is business and capitalism in the United States just made up of greed, obsessive, stingy skinflints? Yes. Oh, wow.
Do you have to start swinging that thing to get it to go?
No, I'm not doing anything. Look at my hand.
I've asked that question before. His hand is still, and the thing just moves on its own.
Well, it's still right now.
Pendulum. I'll do this, right? Do you enjoy being a part of my live stream shows? Okay.
It must be a resounding no somehow.
I don't know.
Going clockwise.
Oh, it can't be favorable to your questions all the time.
Are these people that didn't show up for my show, are they natural born cock-sucking motherfuckers?
You want to answer that, Pendulum?
Who did you invite, James?
Do these people have raisins for testicles?
Oh, Jesus. What your question?
Yes, they have raisins for testicles.
Who did you invite, James?
Oh, a whole host of people. A whole bunch.
I do like the last couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, somebody was kind of going off on marriage.
Now, where the hell is
and you blocked that guy, right? And then Horn Dog was kind of chiming in.
Which Ronnie asked says that he's not this dude named Horn Dog, and he said, "Well, it's kind of strange that he was saying don't be so mean to Ronnie all the time."
Mr. Clean said he was going to come on because he gets out of work at 4. Hey, where the hell are you, man? He gets
4
out
o'clock
of work.
Pacific. It's only like 10 to 3 here.
He gets out of work at 4 p. He was.
Where does he live?
He lives in northwestern New Jersey, but he's from.
Oh, he's East Coast.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you were talking about the West Coast, it is not 4:30 over there.
No. He's supposed to tell the story about Car Shield being a bunch of bullshit.
Car Shield's a bunch of bullshit. What? You pay all this money.
Joe, what is your girlfriend is keeping you from being on the show? You're supposed to tell the Car Shield story. Where the hell are you?
I feel like I've heard this story from somebody before.
Where the hell are you, Joe? Where the hell are you? The past couple of weeks you don't come on. Hey, you must be home now.
You know, if you wanted to light the fire, James, you could just ask Paul to join.
Oh,
Paul Anthony Mantia?
No, Paul Masson. No,
the guy that makes the what? Wait a minute. Where did James hit the wrong button?
That's the thing. James he's gone, right? So now it's our show. So first time caller, long time listener, line 1, right?
See, we can't even control the buttons and stuff.
No, it's my mistake. I got so.
You did what I did, fat fingered.
I got so exuberant. I hit the leave. I hit the leave studio. Hold on. Instead of the invite, which happens to be just to the left of leave studio.
These, it's a bit like, on some cars, right? To turn on the headlights is the same thing to go to 4-wheel drive. It's like, put those things all separate, right? So that way your headlights are on, that you're not in 4-wheel drive,
You know what I always had a problem? When my brother tried to teach me stick shift, he said, like when you're on a hill, I always had problems with the clutch and accelerator pedal going in the right sequence. Like, in other words, you're supposed to let the clutch off as you're accelerating.
Yeah.
Right at the same time, and I would hear like a grinding sound. Hold on, let me get Paul.
Seems counterintuitive the way that you're supposed to do it.
See, I think that probably the best way, because texting and driving is it's an epidemic in the country, right?
That's a problem. Yeah.
But if you had, well, obviously this is just an if, but the more manual transmission vehicles on the road would help to curb texting and driving, because there's no way you can text and driving a manual transmission, right?
Yeah. You need two hands.
Oh, Ronald Theriot must be really focusing on something, because he didn't even see the link.
I was probably watching some Saints game or something.
Do you send him a WhatsApp? Are you guys in WhatsApp?
Nope.
I'm on WhatsApp, but I never talk to him on WhatsApp. I send him on Messenger, but which is owned by Facebook also. But I sent Paul Masson a link. And
What's your phone? Well, no, here I am. What's your phone number? You can't give that out on the air, but
you do it in private chat.
Yeah, that way I can at least add you to a WhatsApp, and then you can text me.
Oh, WhatsApp? What I'll do is I'll send you I'll email you.
Yeah, let me give you guys my email here.
Phone number, and then I'll add you to WhatsApp.
Is WhatsApp like that other application, Marco Polo or something like that?
I don't know. This is a messaging.
It's like Google. Okay. It's like Google Chat, but more sophisticated, much more sophisticated.
Like, sometimes
FaceTime.
Let's say you're in a text messaging thread with a lot of people, and people aren't very good at responding in chronological order to the text messages. So this way, at least you can actually pick a specific message going all the way back to the beginning of the message chain and respond just to that one, or you can privately respond to that message to someone. It's a Facebook. I think Facebook owns or started WhatsApp.
Okay.
And you can also do,
maybe it's more like a Google Hangout.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then you can do you can send audio messages and video messages and pictures.
Yeah, because that's what Marco Polo is. Marco Polo is one where everybody, you start a group. Somebody that started the group has, adds people by their phone number, and you can do sort of a similar thing where it's basically just text messaging with videos. And if you have a premium account, you can share photos, share a text or whatever.
Is it a free?
Yeah,
app?
It's free. Yeah.
And it's called Marco
and
Polo.
I'm in another part of the beer community, the beer reviewing community, where there's tons and tons of people that use it all. They use it all the time.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna look for that here after.
That one's very good. Yeah.
Marcopolo, just kind of like the pool.
Yeah, Marco Polo, just the way you would think to spell it. Yeah. No crazy in pronunciations or spelling on that. Yeah, again, they do have a premium version, and I don't know how much that is a month, but you don't even really need that.
Yeah. And speaking of premium, I recall somebody saying, because StreamYard is StreamYard free, or do you have to get so many broadcast hours a month or something?
Yeah, so that's how it becomes. So that's what James is doing. It's free. It's free, and it's free, and you get 20. I think it's 20 hours of free broadcast of broadcast time a month.
Okay.
Depending on, it doesn't really matter what application. If you're on Facebook Live or if you're going on to YouTube, you get 20 hours to go live, and that's it. I think
per month.
I think per month. I have a premium subscription. I think per month it's like $20 or $25 a month. So I guess it can add up if you don't really have a giant need to have a premium account. I wouldn't recommend trying to do a monthly subscription to it, but it's good because the free version of StreamYard only allows you to have 6 people in a panel.
That's right. And then the paid one, how many people can you have? 10. Okay.
Yep.
And can you record? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, you can either do a new broadcast or you can just record, and you can just record a stream, and then you can just record something off of that, and then you can post it wherever you want.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And you said that you pay roughly $20 a month.
Yeah, basically. Now there's different pay plans you can have with StreamYard. You can do, I think there's a I'm trying to remember here how this works. I think you can do it either monthly or you can spend the money and do it for a whole entire year.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
And because you said James gets 20 hours a month free,
Yeah, for using the free plan. Yep.
and we're already at about 3 hours for this show, and he does
Yep.
about 3 to 4 hours 4 times a week. So he could approach his 20 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if some of these things,
Yep.
like last week, I had to go to my sister-in-law's. The week before, I think I had to do something. This
Yeah.
is the longest I've been on, about close to 3 hours now.
Yep.
Now, this doesn't count against any of your stream.
No,
time
I'm
because
not
you're
even. No, it's all on James's, and we're not
it's on
logged.
James's.
No, it's just on his. It's just for his account. So yeah, they have. There's 3 different plans you can do. There's the free one, which is you can have you're only allowed to have that StreamYard branding there, that little duck guy next to you.
Yeah,
you can't,
yeah.
you change that. You have streaming limits, and you can only have the 6 people on at a time. The one that I have, there's no StreamYard branding. You can do whatever you want. Unlimited streaming, 10 people, logos, overlays, backgrounds. You do pre-recorded streams, and you can record up to 6 hours with being able to multi-stream to different destinations. But then there's another one that's $50 a month, for God's sakes.
Oh, wow.
Visual audio recording, full HD. You can multi-stream to 10 different platforms, and you can have over 10 hours of streaming for if you're going to record something.
That's interesting. $50 a month. So you must really, like, is your channel monetized?
I think they took that away at some point. Yeah, I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet.
So, I mean, only maybe when if you're monetized and can you monetize a broadcast? I wonder.
I believe you can. Yeah. I mean, when you get up to 1,000 people or 1,000
subscribers, right?
Subscribers. Yeah, you can start doing like super chats and stuff, and people can go onto your stream and they can donate actual money.
Yeah, I've seen people do that's actually quite popular. Or thanks, even like there's like a thanks button. You can actually kind of tip.
Yeah,
the
you
person.
have to have over 1,000 people, or over 1,000 subscribers, I think, in order to be able to do that.
That's interesting. I wonder why that is. I mean, I get the whole monetization thing. Like you almost need to get to a certain threshold, but you should be able to accept tips or super chats and stuff.
Yeah.
In my opinion, from day one, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's sort of.
I mean, the backwards around way is you can use any other money sharing app like PayPal or Venmo or something like that, or what's the other one, Zillow or something, I forget. But you can advertise on the bottom of your screen. You can have like a little banners, like James has the one that's on the ticker on the bottom of the screen. I'll say you can donate on PayPal, and I give out my email address, and I say, when I'm live, I'll say, if you want to write a message and say, hey, here's some money, I want you to review this beer, it'll go towards that. Anything that anybody donates will go right towards beer reviewing material.
Now,
I only do one show a week, so I'm not sucking up that many hours.
But you could, if you go over 5 hours a show, roughly, you could get over 20 hours a month.
Oh, okay.
Because last Sunday, you did at least 3 to 4 hours on this show, and then an hour and something with Paul.
Paul.
So you were probably 5 hours.
Paul's not a weekly thing. That was like something he needed to promote because he reopened his Etsy store, and he started selling his clothing online, and he's writing songs. He had an agenda. So that's not a weekly project that I did with Paul. But
okay, but you used to do. I'm kind of rehashing the past here. I do recall, James, you used to do shows where the Gabby Patino case. Did you ever go? Have you? I guess let me just ask it in a roundabout way. Have you ever gone over your allotted free time?
Yeah, I've used up my free time. You're correct.
And can you buy like extra hours or minutes, or does that require a subscription?
No, you would have to do what Eric does. You would have to pay the $20 a month and get the
I
unlimited
think it's 25 a month. Yeah.
25. You get
Yeah.
unlimited hours.
But what I'm saying is that you have to, you have if it doesn't make sense to buy into StreamYard and you're not going to have bigger panels and it wouldn't make sense from time to time to want that, then I wouldn't recommend going into the $25 a month. I mean, it's good because a lot of people that use it, even if they're not going live, it's a place that you can have everybody come onto a StreamYard. You don't have to press the go live button. You can just have it for conversing with a bunch of people, even before backstage and before you go live, which is really nice.
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of people do. Yeah,
they go off. So like what you just said, they go off air and they have their own little private chats, right?
yeah, oh yeah. There's at least one every day going on with people in various communities. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yep.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna have big panels and you know that people are gonna want to come, and this is what you do, and it makes sense for you to want to, have the branding. You can put the branding on the way you want. You can do overlays. You can do logos. You can have the 10 people.
Yep.
If that makes sense to you, and that would be useful, then it's a good deal. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend $25 a month for somebody like James that may not have 7, 8, 9, 10 people at any time, and it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well,
This is working for James.
nice.
Like, I think our collective goal is to grow this channel, right?
Yep.
We
Yeah.
need this thing to get. It's kind of like when you start a fire, right? You just use a little bit of kindling, right? But that one piece of kindling can ignite an entire nation.
Yep.
Well, with
James?
with the right content, you can take a little kindling and you can have a forest fire.
Yeah.
You can end up with that with the right content. If you have the content, it's like Ronald Tirio has the right content, so he built his own empire.
It is an empire. I was going back to because I've been watching Jay now for I would say a better part of 10 years, and it's extremely admirable the just the sheer amount of content he has. He puts out probably between 3 to plus videos per day, every day. He goes live at least twice a week, Wednesday and Friday, right?
I think he goes live on YouTube because
he has his other channel, Anti-War.
Goes solo, yeah.
And then he correct, and then he does these Dawnbuster or Daybreak or whatever you call it stuff. Yeah, it's an extreme dedication. My goodness. I've never actually spoken to him. I did send him some beer once, many years ago, and I have his address. I need to send him some more. But he just doesn't like it when folks, he's just so busy with everything. He's just kind of doesn't want.
Well, I think his whole thing about that is he claims that there is enough different kinds of beers to try that he can just locally acquire, that he to his point, he'll never ever get a chance to trying every single thing that's still in his local area to buy and try. So he'd rather people not send him stuff if he can do that. But he's not going to send the damn thing back if you send it to him.
Correct. But you're right. He's not advocating for folks to go ahead and send him stuff.
Because then it's like a full-time job. You're constantly somebody sends you a case of something. Now you feel obligated to send something back.
You could make it a show. I know some of these whiskey people that review whiskey online. You can make it a show where if people send stuff, maybe there's one show a week where you can showcase the different people that sent you the beers and be like, okay, this guy we're gonna try this beer. We're gonna do this beer that was sent to me from the state of Washington. Here we go. And then
right.
A whole show, viewer beers or airmail beer edition. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You can call it something.
Well, he has not only access to a tremendous variety, but he has access to low prices. So there's two aspects in Ronald's favor.
I'm gonna have to be right back. My daughter's screaming. 1 second. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So He he's got the dry sense of humor and personality that people took a liking to, and he
Mhm.
built himself a little empire, so to speak. And he does get money from YouTube. He does get something from YouTube. I don't know how much because it's nobody's business. He doesn't mention it, but he does get
You
checked.
know, he never mentions it.
And that's it. You just got to keep on plugging away at what you do that makes you. I guess that you have a passion for, and if you have the talent and the passion, something good's going to happen eventually. You got to be persistent.
Yeah.
It's like Sylvester Stallone sleeping in a freaking car while he was writing Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to keep on trying until something catches on. If it was meant to be, it was meant to be.
Yep.
Hold on, what we got here? Sid is going like
East Coast review.
LQ. What?
Never heard of him. Well, cheers.
Cheers anyway. East Coast LQ reviews. Well, greetings, East Coast LQ reviews. We are most likely towards the end of the show because we have surpassed the 3-hour mark and worked 10 hours straight today. You had to work 10 hours?
Hey, that sucks.
Yikes.
On a Sunday?
Gee willikers.
Oh, they paid you good.
It's funny. When I used to go to South Florida a lot, people that lived there, they were working. They had retail jobs, and a lot of them were retirees working in retail. I guess they wanted something to do. They were bored, and then they got this part-time retail job. They said, a lot of the people that live down here in South Florida permanently, we don't have time to go deep sea fishing and snorkeling and do all the things that tourists do.
No.
We don't do it. The same thing with the people in Latin America. Like if I would go to a resort in let's say in Cancun or when I was in Margarita Island, Venezuela, these people are working. These people are working like even on weekends. They don't do what the tourists do. What do we got here? More booze talk, more liquor fan here, brother. Florida is BS, bro.
Oh God.
But Florida, has people that go, unfortunately. You know what I mean. That's another talk show. Coca-Cola as a merchandise. Now, Coca-Cola originally had a tad bit of cocaine in it. Coca leaf.
Oh yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, brah.
Everything ended, bro.
Well, I think Hawaiians say bra, right?
Brah.
Bra. Hey, brah. Hey, brah. Hey, brah. Hey, brah. Yeah, cocaine. Now, why do they have to mess with the original formula? I don't understand why they have to mess with it. It's just like the evangelical religious freaks in the United States created prohibition, where liquor was illegal.
Yep.
Like the people, like the evangelical zealots, have a one-way ticket guaranteed to heaven, and they have a bat phone to God.
He's right.
Brah.
Brah. Yeah,
Bro. Hey, bro. Oh, remember that thing, that commercial? I don't know if you people see Planet Fitness all over the country, but there was a commercial.
All over the TV.
where these two bodybuilders are telling the manager of Planet Fitness, they say, you still taking that protein, bro? That protein? You still taking that protein, bro, that I told you about? And he says, you need any trainers? Train and drain their bodies, drain their bank accounts, something like that. It was real funny.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. The enemy, Pepsi.
That is your enemy, yeah.
I hate the word Pepsi. Pepsi.
What does that even stand for? That must stand for something, right?
Pepsi. It sounds like very effeminate. East Coast. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Now, Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Several people just came into the chat here while I was gone.
Does he sniff everything, Joe Biden?
Yes. No, I don't.
Hey, bro.
Okay, be honest here, right? Do you really think? I know being president's not something that not everybody dreams of, right? But do you really think that that Biden wanted to run, or was he sort of pressured to run, or maybe a bit of both, right?
No, you know what happened?
Happened to Donald Trump, I believe.
The DNC, run by what is that guy? The buck-toothed beaver, Tom Perez.
Who?
Tom Perez, just like Deborah Wasser cunt shits, who ran the DNC before. They selected. Well, Wasser cunt shits nominated Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders had legions of people at his rallies. I mean, you had I
don't know how Bernie. I mean,
you needed binoculars to see all the people. Now, what Tom Perez? They nominated Joe Biden because Joe Biden's establishment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the establishment.
He's been there for over 40 years doing his thing.
Oh yeah, I had a great time. I went all inclusive in Cancun, Sid. All inclusive, 24 hours a day, buffets, liquor, nonstop. You know what I mean, bro.
Liquor in the rear.
Liquor in the rear. Man, no, I'm just doing Sid. That's all. Whistle dicks.
These guys are hilarious from bro to bra.
Whistle dicks.
You know, they have. I think every Friday at Planet Fitness, it's a pizza. They have free pizza. I'm not joking.
Like a pizza party at a gym.
Pizza at the gym. That's a great idea.
You know, when I used to be no dumbbells above 100. You know what I used to be when I was a personal trainer? Some guy came up to me. He looked like Woody Allen. He goes, "Excuse me." I swear, this is how he said, "Excuse me, can you teach me how to do curls? I want to do curls. I want curls." And, oh my! I walked away.
Curls for the girls, right?
Hey, bro. Yeah, this guy said he looked like Woody Allen and he sounded worse.
So East Coast liquor reviews. I've seen you on Jay's, either commenting on a video of Jay's or joining Jay's videos. He is a known. He is a known presence.
You ever join Ronald J. Terrio's shows, East Coast?
I never have. I've wanted to, but I've openly admitted that I'm not a. I don't have what it takes to sort of give the enhanced commentary on what I'm smelling or tasting. I just don't have.
Yeah, but you have the intellect and articulation.
I do. I do. I can. Maybe I just need to get on with it, right? So to speak.
I mean, I never heard better than you explaining things on this show. I mean, you're extremely articulate in everything you say.
Well, thank you.
In other words, your taste buds and your
That's
smelling.
true. Yeah, that is true.
you can't put it into words.
In fact, I got to show you something here. For Fandango Friday. Check this out.
Okay.
Ooh. All the bras are in the chat.
These guys are on a roll here, man.
I don't know if you can find this in your area, but this is pretty cool. It comes in an old milk bottle, right?
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
And it's called 5 Farms Small Batch Irish Cream Liqueur.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
wow. I brought that on Fandango as a airline
Really?
bottle.
You did? Okay. So
It
this
was
is like
great.
a.
It was great. I loved it.
So I must say, right? If you're a fan of Bailey's, which is kind of the most popular of the
Yes.
Irish creams,
Yeah.
this is beyond Bailey's. It's velvety smooth.
Oh, that stuff's good.
It's very sweet, and it's also very nice finish. I might actually just pour just a very small bit, because it's still a little early to be drinking, but maybe just a little Irish cream is probably not going to hurt.
Oh,
You can
that-
get bourbon creams in the United States too.
Oh yeah,
Similar-
bourbon cream.
similar kind of product. Yeah.
I'm just going to go pour a little
me tell you,
glass.
That product, ice cold, is an outstanding
Yeah.
beverage. What he just showed, because I had mine in the freezer, and I brought it on Fandango Friday, and it was delicious.
Buffalo Trace makes a Buffalo Trace. It's another brand. Ezra Brooks make a bourbon cream. The Buffalo Trace one is really good. You can add the buffalo. You can add that. You can add that to your eggnog, but that might make the eggnog even too rich. Adding the whiskey style cream.
You know, Bar. I don't care what anybody says. Veganism, a vegan diet program, you're not going to get the same quality protein and
No.
amino acids as animal source protein if you're doing strength training. I mean, it's more bioavailable. It's superior nutrition to get the animal source protein.
I gotta say that Impossible Burger from Burger King is actually pretty good. That plant-based burger is actually not so bad. You're welcome, East Coast LQ.
Oh, plant burger. Actually, they don't call it veggie burger anymore, right? It's called plant burger.
Something like that. Oh, look at that.
This stuff is excellent. My goodness, it's a little bit expensive for what you're getting. It might be like
I have to look that up.
$10 more or something than a Bailey's, but this stuff is.
Oh, the aroma, the flavor, it's so rich.
You really do taste the whiskey. It's a whiskey forward. Maybe I could do all these reviews. Maybe I'm just playing myself on, but it's a whiskey forward, but a creamy finish and very smooth.
Nice.
And that's when I asked, I think I asked Jay or somebody, like, Fandango Friday, now that we're kind of coming into Thanksgiving. Absolutely. I think the eggnog and these Irish creams could probably go very well on these shows, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, and with eggnog, I like I said on the show, I like putting the nutmeg or cinnamon and liquor at the bottom, and then pour the eggnog and ice into it. No, I think Jason Cleveland would do outstanding reviews, and plus he has a great voice for radio or podcasts. He's got that.
I know. For my work, I have to do a lot of meetings. Hosting meetings, calling meetings. Back when we were all in person, presenting live in front of large groups of people. And let me tell you, it was one of those things that, it comes naturally for a lot of folks. I know that several people that I've worked with, they could just stand up in front of a crowd of 100 or 200 people and it'd be no problem for them. But it took me a long time to get out of my shell, so to speak, and become comfortable speaking in front of others. And and at least having an sort of somewhat of an air of confidence in what you're doing.
It's
But
true.
once you get that, I think it's not something that you lose. It's kind of like riding a bike, right? Once you sort of get past that point,
Yeah.
then it just becomes easy. It just becomes
Well,
natural.
celebrities have a trick where they only focus on the front row, people sitting in the front row only.
Yeah.
Don't look beyond. Like if there's 10,000 people, don't look beyond the front row.
Right.
And that should help. But yeah, he was with us. BC Beer Reviews from Michigan was with us for a good amount of time. He just had to go to his dad's birthday, and yeah, well, veggie burgers, plant-based. Now they call it plant.
You know, it's interesting talking about plant-based food. Some of the best burgers that I've ever had have been when I said, let me just try their, a lot of these restaurants around here, they do, or they claim to do homemade, bean, or any of these alternative protein patties, right?
Lentils. They use lentils a lot.
Yeah, and some of these places they just do a fantastic job of these, and it's the flavor in there is a lot better in my opinion than some really good beef.
Well, you know, one of the best veggie burgers I ever had in my life is actually something called falafel, which is an Egyptian
Yes.
recipe.
Yes.
Yeah, a chickpea, fava bean, baking powder, various seasoning, parsley, garlic, whatever. You know, I think there might be some wheat in it. Maybe not. It's mostly fava bean and chickpea, and it really is tasty.
And that's the thing, right? Some places you get a burger and they're almost trying to just play up the burger by adding various sauces or condiments to it. But some of the like black bean patty burger and falafel type burgers, the spices can kind of shine through better than the beef can, I think. So plus, you know, I try not to eat meat although it's kind of in this house anyway, you're almost eating meat every day, but try to at least not eat meat every day if you can. I know it's tough.
Well, I have a really good web link to a great falafel recipe that I could I can email Jason and I can post it.
Send that to me. I think it'd be even more fun if maybe next week you do a live stream of you actually making it. Right? How exciting would that be? Kind of like what BC. I got the dog jumping in the lap here.
Well, if I can get all the ingredients, you know, it's kind of difficult to be the host of a show and to be like, doing stuff, you know. I mean, but it's not a complicated recipe, but what it involves is soaking the chickpeas and fava beans overnight and then putting it in a processor with the other ingredients and pureeing it. And but you do need some baking powder, and then you make the balls. Or now, if you have a hot air, what do you call
an air fryer?
A hot air fryer, right?
I don't have one.
That's well, my sister does, but I don't. It's what it is. It's a convection oven, to be honest with you.
Yep. Yeah, it's very close to that fan that's blowing around that hot air, right?
Yeah, it circulates the hot air.
Yep.
It has the speed of a microwave, but it browns your food. And my sister made both russet potato fries and sweet potato fries in her hot air apparatus, and they came out really good, though. Of course, non-greasy, but they really.
Does it cook? Because you mentioned it's either similar to or equivalent to a convection oven. Would you say, let's say you get a bag of tater tots, just as an example, would you cook them at the bag rate? You know, if it says 20 minutes for crispy, you just go 20 minutes in an air fryer, or does it cut down on the time a little bit, like a pressure cooker type situation?
Well, they have a timer. The air fryer does have a timer, and they have a temperature range, I believe, and they do shut off when the time elapses, and they make a noise, and but it is quick, and it's pretty efficient actually. Like
How about is that like one of these all-in-one? You know, I was at the store the other day and they had something called a Food Ninja. But I'm not sure if you've seen or heard of those, but
well, I have the Ninja processor with a brain, and it's not the same as the one on the infomercial. It doesn't do what the infomercial Ninja does. Yeah, they have it, but you know what? The hot air fryers, as far as being an all-in-one, they're not big enough yet. When they're big enough to put a small turkey in there, or a big roaster chicken, or a bottom round rump roast or something like that, then I would say, yeah, you know, these guys are going like, holy crap.
Brah.
So essentially what you're saying, James, while you're going through the comments there, is that these all-in-one devices, slow cooker, Instapot, rice cooker, air fryer, boiler, broiler, soup maker, I mean, you know, they're almost trying to be. It's like that phrase, right? An inch deep but a mile wide. They're really not good at anything. They're okay at several things, but they're not great at any one thing.
Yeah, they're not, and
they do too many things.
Like my brother-in-law and sister got rid of that Ron Popeil Showtime.
Set it and forget it,
because it smoked the fire alarm in the house.
Oh Jesus!
It smoked
That's terrible.
The whole house. Yeah, I'm right across from New York City.
Ron Popeil just passed away recently, by the way. Maybe we should toast his honor.
Yeah, he did. He had the pocket fisherman. He had the hairspray for the bald men.
The pocket fisherman? That sounds like a euphemism for something else.
It's a little, you know.
No, haven't you seen a Popeil pocket fisherman? I've got one.
No.
It's a here. Let me pull it up here. I actually have one.
Is that what they call them these days? They're pocket fishermen.
It's like a
rod, reel, and it folds. And
getting my mind out of the gutter.
And
what are you fishing for in that bite?
If you can share here, James, it's literally a fishing pole that's probably no more than 15 inches long. Would you say?
Oh, hold on, buddy.
And you can cast it. So that's what it looks like, right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah, East Coast. That's the pocket fisherman. And it folds, you know, it goes in your glove compartment, and well, that hairspray, that shoe polish hairspray for bald men, that was ridiculous. Look at that, the pocket for the return of the pocket
fisherman. I was actually looking. This article popped up on my email here. California Nordstrom ransacked by 80 looters with ski masks with crowbars. You believe this?
Whoa!
This was it was an email that I got. That's crazy.
Wow!
What the hell is wrong with people?
I know, right?
Yeah, we're living in chaos. This is the problem. And what Sid mentioned about how come pro wrestling sucks is because the writers suck. The storylines suck. It's watered down. I think they ran out of ideas, Sid, to be honest with you. But quality in general is on a rapid decline, you know, overall, except for technology. But I've had frog's legs in South Florida, deep fried. I just felt bad because I was thinking of all the bullfrogs with wheelchairs.
Medical eggs, yeah.
You want to hear something that I saw on TV the other day? This guy made a turtle soup,
Snapping turtle.
snapping turtle soup, and I'm first of all, I was kind of like, how do you get your hands on a turtle, right? Like,
I've had it,
but I guess they're kind of like, you know, the like raccoons of the swamp, so to speak, right? They're all over the place.
Yeah, except
Gotta be used for stews and
Yep,
soup.
your
And you gotta
your
simmer
jaw-
them forever to
the
break
jaws
down.
the jaws are much more powerful.
Yeah, yep. It's apparently like a chewy kind of food, so you just don't want to like grill it. You need to let it stew for hours and then.
That's what they did. They you know, put it in water and covered it in a pot and all day, kind of 8 hours of simmering just to get the meat to fall apart on the damn thing.
I don't know about that.
I would use a spear. I would use like a wild boar spear, like from cold steel to just impale the alligator snapper before it impales you.
Right.
And
like, are you talking about giant snapping turtle?
Oh, they're big. Alligator
This thing was
snappers?
pretty big. It was, think about like twice the size of a football.
Damn.
Right? That was
alligator snappers are way
I
bigger.
seen one trying to cross a busy highway one time I was driving on. It was crazy.
I know you feel bad for those things.
Large. Right? That could do some damage to a vehicle.
I know.
Well, what about I never had elk. I've had venison. Elk is huge. There was a show up in Alaska, a reality show where they shot a moose, and that's a lot of meat, you know. But you know, you have to know how to prepare wild game.
Well,
you know, my brother-in-law has a farmhouse in the Adirondack Mountains, and he goes for deer and everything. And one time he gave me a big venison pot roast, and I made sauerbraten, German style sauerbraten. I marinated it.
Huh.
Oh man, was it good?
That sounds good. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make my untimely exit here from said stream, and
yeah, I'm gonna end because I'm hungry. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's
I'm hungry
3.5 hours. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Gentlemen.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Well, Eric, I know you're gone, but thank you.
Yeah, bye, Eric. Nice to talk to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Enjoy, and thank you. It was a very uniquely entertaining show and very informative, and almost 3.5 hours, but I enjoyed it. It was good.
Agreed.
And BC spent a decent amount of time, even though he had his father's birthday party. And to the other people, to all the others, I have an itch in the middle of my forehead that needs scratching. East Coast, thank you for coming by. Sid, as always, thank you for coming by. And same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know. Am I gonna be here? I won't be around for Fandango Friday. I'll be away, but I will be back next weekend. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, take
Sounds
care.
great,
everyone.
James. Take care. Have a great
Bye.
week. Thanks again. Bye bye.
Enjoy.
Bye bye.